You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com. That's PJ4F.com, the number one podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in to leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What's good, Che?
What's good, brother?
What's good?
Man, here we are. It's another week, bro.
It's another week. It's been a long weekend for me. I took some extra time off.
Yeah.
Flew out to Arizona. Rest in peace to my Uncle Bill.
R.I.P., man.
You never were a Raiders fan, but that's okay.
It's all right.
I got love for you, Bill.
Still got love, man.
Kept it strong out there. Transplant by way of Wisconsin to California to Arizona. And it's my dad's brother, so shout out to you, Bill. Been a long time since I've seen you, but it was good to get out there and see some family I hadn't seen. I hate that, man. It's like bittersweet.
Right.
It's always good to see your folks.
I feel you.
But it's always like, we got to stop meeting like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You always want to meet. You always want to meet for happier occasions, right? That's what we always tell ourselves, man, whenever that kind of stuff happens. Like, why are we waiting for this kind of stuff to happen, man?
But
Let's get it together, man.
We made the best of it.
That's good.
Me and my brother and my dad hit the road, and it was a boys' weekend out there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we flew out there on Wednesday. We came back on Friday, so it was a quick trip. Had some good barbecue. I'm still full.
There you go.
Shout out to Rudy's out there.
Rudy's
selling meat by the pound. I thought I was with the wrong people because I ordered three pounds of barbecue for us and a side of slaw, and they were looking at me like that's going to be too much food. I was like, "Who are you?" We polished that off, no problem.
Yeah, of course, dog.
No problem.
Pound of meat a piece, it's no problem, dog.
Nah, that was easy, and half of it was ribs. So you got bones up in there. Right, man. So I looked at my brother in disappointment. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
You might have still been hungry after that shit.
No. No. Was not hungry. In fact, I did take down a payday candy bar after that.
Okay.
I splurged
a little dessert,
bro. Little dessert. Wanted that banana pudding, bro. They forgot to pick it up, but yeah, shout out to my granny because she made the banana pudding with the Nilla wafers.
Oh,
fire.
Damn.
So fire. And then it was my brother's birthday Saturday, so we went out to more barbecue on Saturday night, and got to see my lady for the last time before she takes off. She's taking off to Mexico at the end of the week. Might get to see her one more night. Got to see her one more night, and then I taking off to Sacramento next weekend. I'm going to go see a good friend of mine, Sammy Quasar. You will meet him on the Crow's Nest podcast.
Oh,
we'll talk about that.
Well, that's right.
In a minute.
That's right.
And
that Crow's Nest.
Also, going to see Black Alicious, one of my favorite hip hop groups out there.
That's dope, man. So, that's what's up.
If you guys don't know who Black Alicious is, educate yourself. Might be a little too underground for most of you, and not quite underground enough for some of you.
Right.
But Black Alicious, get to Gab and Chief XL. Gab deserves credit as one of the greatest MCs of all time. And most of you guys don't know who that is, and it shows. It really shows. But that was my weekend, man. I spent today just kind of chilling with the lady and the puppy, and then, of course, doing the notes. I ate a questionable ribeye steak for dinner. It had changed color, which doesn't scare me, but you never know. The smell was all right. The smell was okay. So we'll find out how this show ends, and we'll determine if that steak was still good. Don't put steak into the frost in the fridge when you're about to go out of town.
Right.
Because I'll be damned if I let a good ribeye go to waste.
Hey, you're going to eat that shit.
Yeah.
You're going to take your chances, dog. Because that shit's expensive. That shit ain't cheap.
Hey, little Montreal steak seasening, hey, who knows the difference? Right?
Season that motherfucker up real good.
That's
dog.
it.
That's it. That's all.
How was your weekend, brother?
Pretty good, dog. You know, I stayed home on Friday. I was feeling like a little something was coming on, so I ended up staying home. My lady wasn't feeling good either, so we just got, I just kind of stayed home. We kind of shared the parenting responsibilities. Usually on Friday I'm at work, and she's got to take care of the little munchkin all by herself. Mm-hmm. So we were able to help each other out since we were both kind of feeling under the weather. And then Saturday, we were thinking maybe we'd be feeling a little bit better. She'd be feeling a little bit better. And we got invited to go watch the fights, the John Jones, Lionheart Smith fight, which was underwhelming, to say the least. John Jones just worked the cat. He just worked him. dude couldn't release any punches. But one shocker though is that Tyron Woodley lost his belt to the Nigerian Nightmare.
Oof.
Yeah.
Really?
Mauled him, dog.
How many
Mauled him
rounds?
like
How
a
many
damn
rounds?
grizzly bear. 5. It's a championship.
It went all 5 rounds?
Went all 5 rounds.
Okay.
But he got mauled, bro. This Kamaru Usman, dog. That dude, he's like a fucking grizzly bear, dog. Just mauled him. Mauled him. The whole fight. But yeah, man. So I went over there. I hung out with them cats last night. My lady, she stayed home. So I just went over there and hung out, drank some brews. Because, you know, that's what we do. Some chelas, you know. Watched some fights. Had good conversation. Hadn't seen my boy since like fucking December, dog.
Damn.
So yeah, so we had to get a little catch up, you know.
Yeah.
And then here we are, right? Now we're here.
Those John Jones fights last 5 days. The fight, and then 5 days to wait for the test results.
I know, right? Exactly. We'll see what happens.
We'll find out who the winner is.
We'll see what happens
on Friday.
We'll see if it was legit or not.
What did you say? The only person that could beat John Jones is John Jones.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, he's proven that himself.
Yeah. But let's set the table a little bit, and then we'll get down to it, shall we?
Yeah.
As you know, the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. That's CNPN. You can follow them at CNPodNet. We just released a new show. That's Dwayne Douglas and JR Amato. They got the Put On Waivers podcast.
That's right.
Weekly. That's an all sports podcast. You can check them out for the latest in the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB. And Dwayne, he's a Raider fan too, so they go a little Raiders heavy from time to time. We won't mention JR's team, but he's a good co-host, so we'll let that slide. It's sometimes it's good to have a member of the opposition in the same room with you.
Right.
That's a good show, so check them out. Of course, check out the Ladies of Darkness. Been going strong. They kind of have a new name and a revamped show, and they've added Kevlar Prom Dress, also known as Heidi.
That's right.
To that show too, and she brings a lot. I think Heidi actually coasted last week. Jenny was under the weather. So check them out. I'll actually you know what? I'm going to be mixing their shows from now on.
That's what's up.
At least for a while. So
I mean, the best producer in the game. Why not?
Killing it. And of course,
every day.
Of course, you got the Pillaging Podcast, the OG in this bitch. No corn syrup, no added sugars, no preservatives. We ain't sliding into the DMs. No dick pics in this. Just keeping it real. Just 100% real. Just pillaging. Straight up.
That's right. That's what we do.
Shay's trying to keep a straight face over here. I'm just saying, man.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. We just give it to you straight, rough, rugged, and raw.
That's right.
Yeah. So update on the Crow's Nest podcast itself, the Nest as we will refer to it. The release date will be on the weekend of the 17th.
All right.
So what we're going to do for you guys, we're actually going to pre-record that show. I'm going to let you guys know we're pre-recording next week. So for now, you can use the same call-in number if you want to call in. And I'm not saying we're going to get to calls, not necessarily a part of the show just yet. But if you want to call in and say something, hey, we'll check it out. Maybe we'll throw it on there. And then the following weekend, the weekend of the 17th, I believe that's a Sunday. Maybe it's the 16th, 17th. I'll be out of town. I'll be far out of town all weekend. So you will not have the Pillaging Podcast. However, all of you that are listening to this show right now, the first episode of The Crow's Nest will appear in your feed.
Bam!
So if you're not interested in that, I understand. But I encourage everybody to check it out. From that point on, if you want more, you're going to have to find us and subscribe to that show, the Crow's Nest Podcast. It should be the proper name. I do know there is another Crow's Nest podcast out there. We're not trying to get in their way. It's a video game podcast, but we're doing our own thing. And this where we're sitting.
It's our thing.
Where we're sitting right now, it's been the Crow's Nest for
at
least 2 decades. So
right.
We're not changing the name of that.
Just because Kenny didn't trademark it doesn't mean he didn't do it first, all right?
But yeah, so we're going to give you a taste of that show, whether you like it or not. Maybe it will be something you like. We hope that you join us for future episodes. We will be launching the Pillaging Podcast and the Crow's Nest every week for you guys. So we're going to try to do both shows every single week. Maybe some scheduling changes coming up, but that's not in the near future, so don't worry about that. We'll keep you up to date on all of that. Tonight's guest is Maliik Obee. I believe he writes for... he's written for a few blogs, man. I can't keep track. I know he's on. He's been on Just Blog Baby. He's going to tell you what he writes for right now. I believe it's he's on FSC or FRC. So he's going to come on. Big Raider fan. He's definitely a draftnik and an all around NFL badass. He was at the draft last year. We're going to find out if he's going this year and all that. Also had a few donations come in this week. Appreciate you guys. You paid for, literally paid for another month of hosting for the Pillaging podcast. So you guaranteed another month of this show. All of you that are listening, thank them. We will mention their name at the end of the show, but they're the reason the show stays on air is the donations. 100% donation funded show. No sponsors right now. So we had some.
Yet.
We got two sponsors, man. We got One Nation Fanwear and we got DC 4L Custom Tees.
That's right.
They ain't paying us out, but they are providing fresh gear to all you guys.
That's right.
So make sure you go to onenationfanwear.com and DC4LCustomTees.com. I know One Nation's working on a spring line. We've gotten to see some of that.
Yeah, man. We got the sneak peek.
It looks good.
It looks real good.
Yeah, you got some cool some crossovers and some mashups. You can check out the original Gridiron line right now, the OG line over there, pretty slick. And then DC4L Custom Tees, you already know. Get your goddamn right T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
you already know.
The new Your Stalling T-shirt. You know what? I need to maybe just get one of those out to Raider Roo too for laying down a fat.
No shit, right?
You know,
no shit. That's true, man.
If you beat Raider Roo score,
sure.
yeah. If you beat his score, if you come on here and beat his score, we'll get you a free Your Stalling T-shirt.
Damn.
How about that? And
How about that?
Raider Roo, I owe you one. Wait for it. We'll get you hooked up. Anything else forgetting to talk about?
Just this, dog. Just this right
there.
Just this.
Let's get into that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all already know. Y'all already know what time it is, dog. It's Chella's Con Che every Sunday. Okay? Every Sunday. You can't get a sneak peek on Twitter. You got to come on the show. You got to get on the live feed.
Yeah.
And find out what I'm drinking on Sundays. I'll give you a little taste on Friday, a little taste on Saturday, let you know what I'm sipping on. But Sundays, that's reserved for the show, dog. That's reserved for the show. And today,
what you got?
I got this Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale.
Ooh.
It's a session sour.
Ooh.
And it's a green can, so it's blending in the background like a motherfucker. But listen, this is delicious, man. I had to bring it on here because I went and I copped this and I was like, yo, this is the one right here. Really tasty. And I know you've been cutting back on the chelas, dog.
I have been, yeah.
But I did bring an extra one for you if you'd like to partake. I'm just saying.
It's a sour beer?
It's a sour beer.
You know I like sour beer.
That's why I brought it.
I might have to do that.
I had to tempt you, man.
Might have to do that.
You might have to call me Che the Devil, dog. I tempted you. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this one over to my boy. My boy's going to get that one, and I'm going to pull this other one out the bag over here.
Here it goes.
Yeah. Give him that fresh crack.
This Dogfish, too. This is a good brewery.
Oh, yeah. Delicious, man. I like everything that I grabbed from it. Yeah.
On three. Ready? 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's a twofer.
And go ahead. Give that a taste.
They call that a four-hander in the massage business.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff right there, man.
It's
got that good lime taste. So we got here, it's got lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt. That's the flavors that are going into this bad boy. It's not, it's a lower alcohol content, which is okay because it's a session beer, right?
Session beer. You want to drink it all day.
Yeah, you want to drink this all day, dog. Okay, so it's coming in at 4.9. It's delicious, man. And you already know where I got this. I don't even have to say it. You already know where I buy all my beers. So
Bargain Market.
That's right. Grocery outlet. Bargain Market.
I like that. It gets me right there, right behind the tongue.
Yeah.
So first off, the flavor on that, it's definitely got the sour. What I like is as the sour ramps up right at the end, that lime kicks in.
Yep.
And shuts it down.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's the original.
That's that little kick on the back. That you get that kick on the back of the tongue, on the back side of the tongue, bro.
That's original beer. I've never tasted anything like that before.
Delicious.
So that's what I like. When I open a can like this, I want it to be something different.
That's right.
Well, cheers, bro. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And cheers to all of y'all out there listening right now, drinking chelas. I hope you guys got yourself a good one too. Let us know what you got. Maybe I have to go cop one of them for the next show.
And that saltiness is right at the front.
Yeah.
Right at the front. That's nice. That's real nice.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we're properly hydrated, I got to hit you.
Oh, yeah.
Can I hit you?
Hit me one time.
Quick hits. Master Tess from Bleacher Report says he's heard the Raiders are shopping Derek Carr at the Combine. First off, who the fuck is Master Tess? With all due respect, Bleacher Report. But I think your boy's trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, man.
By triggering Raider Nation.
Yeah, he's doing a good job too.
Because second of all, that's total bullshit.
Come on, man.
It's not happening. I was not at the combine, but I can guarantee you that was not happening.
I guarantee you that he was nowhere near where he would be able to hear a discussion that was actually taking place, bro. I can guarantee that.
He overheard someone at the snack bar. Oh, what if the Raiders traded Derek Carr?
He's like, what was that last part?
What was that? Exclusive. Sources, quote unquote sources. Yeah, that's total bullshit. Do you say no more?
Say no more, bro.
3 teams, however, showing interest in Antonio Brown. Redskins, the Titans, and your Oakland Raiders. Quick pause. I'm glad we actually say Oakland Raiders for another season.
Yeah, that's right.
Because not knowing what to say, that was fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, it was embarrassing as fuck, right? That was embarrassing as fuck.
So the Oakland Raiders tied into rumors of Antonio Brown. What my first note is, you goddamn right we are. But I'm really not that excited about that. I would imagine from where we talked last week, you're possibly not that excited. Also considering the fact Steelers reportedly want a first-round pick.
That's not going to happen, dog.
For the 31-year-old wide receiver.
So, listen, I don't know who the cat, I don't remember who the cat was that put that out there on Twitter, too. There was somebody earlier this week that was like, first round for AB. And I was like, hell to the no, dog. And then he was like, why not? I'm like, what do you mean, why not? Motherfucker is going to go anyways. The Steelers ain't going to fucking pay him, right?
Right.
Steelers ain't going to pay him. They're going to have to trade him, or he's going to sit the bench the whole year. He's not going to play for them. He already said that. I'm not playing for you. And the owner already said that they parted ways. They made an agreement. They said, okay, we're going to go ahead and go our separate ways.
They ain't tag him.
So who has the fucking leverage in this? Who has the leverage in this?
Not Pittsburgh.
Exactly. So why the fuck would you give them what they want? Why would you give them a first round pick for this guy? I'm not saying that he's not a first round talent. We already know that. But he's older and they don't have the leverage, dog.
Why Raider Nation might be excited / nervous about this news is we gave them a 3rd rounder from Martavis Bryant last year.
This is true.
So
true.
we'll see. It might be smokescreen too. I can tell you what, putting him on the Redskins is like putting a car bra on a Pinto.
But listen to this. You can also make the argument that we already did them a fucking favor by giving them that 3rd round pick. So this year, shit's got to come back around, bro. You got to pay us back now.
Yeah. And with DK Metcalf doing what he did this weekend.
Oh, shit.
I don't know, bro. I just don't know about all that.
Boy was beasting out there.
But out of those 3 teams, where would he make the biggest impact?
I mean.
Not going to be in Washington.
No.
Not going to be in Washington. With Tennessee or with Oakland?
I would say Oakland, dog. I mean, honestly, I would say Oakland.
I would too.
I would say Oakland. I'm not. Listen, we're not out here saying that fucking we don't want AB. Okay, we're just saying let's not fucking get crazy and start fucking throwing all our goddamn picks at them, dog. That's retarded.
Yeah,
that's retarded.
Yeah,
I said
it. Raiders plan to pick up the 5th-year option on safety Carl Joseph, who proved his worth down the stretch in 2018. PG finally found a strategy to implement the undersized hitter into his defense. May still be a situational safety in the Raiders' defense in 2019, but the offseason moves should dictate how often KJ sees the field going forward. You excited about that? You glad to have KJ around one more year?
Yeah. I mean, why not? We took him high, and we've honestly never been able to see what he could be, right? Because he hasn't had very good stability as far as the coaching goes, and I know we just lost our fucking DB coach, which adds to that again. But I think you got to give the dude just like we've made the case for Derek Carr. He hasn't had a consistency at the coaching position, and the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Like this guy last year, they held him out for a lot of games early on, right? And they were fucking with his head, like trying to. I don't know if they were trying to, push his buttons to get the best out of him, right? But we saw some good things out of KJ, and we've always seen those flashes. It's just about get the right coach for him so that he can actually, reach his peak. And if he reaches his peak and it's not what we want, then we move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't want him around this year, one more year, you're smoking KJ.
Yeah.
You're smoking KJ. Because that's a position group that's pretty depleted on our roster. So keep the talent you have and try to complement that talent. That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
There you go.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got in the quick hits, except for the NFL Combine.
Oh.
NFL Combine, the Underwear Olympics. I tried to explain to my girlfriend, they call this the Underwear Olympics, and she got real interested. Oh, really?
Oh.
Is Jared Cook in this? No, honey. He's not. No, she didn't say that. But I don't know.
That was years ago. Honey. That was years ago.
But yeah, so some standouts at the Combine. You got anybody that you want to mention off the top?
I mean, listen, the guys that should have stood out. Okay, so you had Quinnen was standing out for sure.
4.83.
Yeah, doing big things, moving that big ass body of his, bro. That's
303 pounds.
That dude. Okay, this cat is 303 pounds, and he's running that fast. That's scary, dog. That's scary.
Yeah.
And I think they were making comparisons between him and Donald. Donald, I think, came in at like 4.6 something.
Yeah.
But he's also like 285 or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in the size, the weight. But the dude was moving, man. He looked good. Impressive. You had a bunch of defensive ends that looked impressive, dog. Okay? You had a lot of guys that were really showcasing their athleticism, their like natural God-given abilities, dog. Mm-hmm. Of course, Bosa was out there doing his thing.
Bosa
Everybody, all the eyes were on Bosa, right? But you had cats like Montez Sweet that just comes out of nowhere with a 4.41.
6'6", 260 pounds, Mississippi State, 4.41, fastest D-line time since 2003, since the modern Combine era.
And then they went and I think they put this cat in a like a multi-screen with they put some of the past receivers running with him. They put I want to say they put Hopkins out there with him or something like that. And this guy's like ahead of these guys by a lot.
Damn.
That's scary.
Huh.
You got a defensive end that can run faster than some of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Some of the top wide receivers in this game. That's scary, man. That's some freakish athleticism, right?
They put that like Mario Kart ghost.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's next to him.
That ghost, you always try to beat yourself.
Yeah, let me get
try to beat yourself.
Let me get a Brent Musburger ghost. I want to see how he stacks up.
Oh man.
Let me get a Che ghost.
Right.
Where you crack the beer and then you start running. Be tight. It's just you drinking and how fast he can run, how fast you can finish that can. You just the ghost Che crushing the can and tossing it before he finishes. Yeah, that'd be tight.
That'd be dope. We gotta do that. Man. That'd be fire.
Devin Bush, linebacker Devin Bush, posted a 4.43 40 time, second amongst the linebackers, but nailed a 40.5-inch vertical jump.
Yeah, man.
Highest of all LBs, and a 10'4" broad jump, tied for third. Definitely showed off that his ability to move sideline to sideline. I know who was it that came on here that was saying middle linebacker. Who was that? It wasn't Rory. Was it Chris Simmons? I believe that came on here.
I believe so.
It was ringing the bell for a middle linebacker in the first round from the Raiders. Caught a lot of flack for that. I'm not mad at him. There's so many needs on this roster.
I think his exact words were that we've been allergic. We've been allergic to drafting a middle linebacker, right, or some shit like that.
Take that Flonase and pick a linebacker.
Take a goddamn linebacker, man.
But yeah, so Bush, man, could be a good centerpiece on any NFL defense.
Both Devins, right? Both Devins showed out today.
Yeah.
The dude from LSU,
yeah.
Devin White. Is it Devin White?
Devin White, yeah.
That cat looked good too, man.
Yeah.
And
then Gary, looking swift, agile, and athletic as advertised. But can he take it to the gridiron? A lot of people say, no, he can't.
Well, we'll have to see, huh? We'll have to see.
I got Michigan fans telling me, don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't do it.
Right.
Yeah, man, I think we brought up tight end as a position group for the last couple of weeks. So Fant, both from Iowa, Fant and Hawkinson showing what they can do. Fant ran the fastest time in his group, while Hawkinson showed, while he's still a number one pick with his blocking skills and his versatility.
Yeah.
Again, TJ, a guy that can do it all. Get you a guy that can do it all.
And got good hands, man. He's got real good hands.
Real good hands. He can high point the ball. Usually very crisp routes. Doesn't have game breaker speed, but can run that route, gets good separation, and he
Big
can
body,
block.
man.
He can
Big
block.
body. Yeah.
That's what we want. We definitely need blockers. If you watched last year, we need blockers.
Yeah.
I think the guy that everybody was talking about since I think it was day one or day two, whenever the wide receiver group went, was your boy DK Metcalf.
Yeah, man. The fucking superhero out there, man.
Got a lot of Raider fans questioning their mock draft right now.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Hey, listen, he caught my attention, man. This cat was flying around. He's built like a fucking superhero, man. He's 6'4", and I don't know what.
Yeah.
Almost 6'5", I think. And he's putting up weight, and he's chiseled, dude. And this dude's running like a fucking rocket down the field. He's going to catch your eye.
228 pounds of bent steel.
Yeah, man.
DK Metcalf. Yeah, a lot of people were like, I don't know, DK Metcalf. I'm supposed to go defense. I got to go defense. DK Metcalf, though.
What about that DK Metcalf, though?
Look, Mayock's been pounding the table all offseason saying we got to get more weapons around Carr. Mm-hmm. That's been the messaging.
Yeah.
You got to protect Carr. That's been the messaging. Yes, we have a lot of holes on this defense. I know most of the fans out there want to draft defense.
Right.
Look, don't be shocked if we draft more offense than defense. Don't be shocked if that's what happens.
Listen, man, it's very, very possible.
There's a lot of defensive talent in free agency. The offensive talent this year is going to cost you big money. There's a lot of good of both in this draft.
This is true.
Do not be shocked if we do that in the draft.
Yeah.
It don't mean that all our answers are going to be solved this offseason. Hey, all our answers are not going to be solved this offseason. This is a team in transition. John said it himself. They're getting ready for Las Vegas. Do you want to see the team competitive? Yes, next year. Yes, you do. Will they improve? Yes, I hope they will. But you got to improve on both sides of the ball. You got to take what's there. If DK Metcalf is there at number 4, you're ready for a shocker. I'm telling you guys, get ready for a shocker. Is this who Kenny wants? Not necessarily. But I want what's best for the team, and I'm just going to trust my coach and my GM to do what's best for the team.
Right.
But DK Metcalf looking like anything but a bust. I don't care who you take at that number 4, but make sure he's ready to play day one.
Right.
And
that motherfucker better be on the field starting day one.
And he needs to show first-round talent day one.
That's it.
No ramp up. No adjusting the NFL.
No catching up to speed. Nah.
Day one. Mm-hmm. Number 4, day one.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
Is that
absolutely. Those are motherfucking facts.
It's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, it's a fact. People throwing their phones out the window right now.
I do want to say one thing, though, before we move on to the fact segment, is that if we do pass on DK Metcalf, okay, there is a couple of cats that looked really good, too. Okay. They're not your fucking beast like DK, but you had Paris Campbell, and you had your boy, Andy Isabella showing out, right? They showed out too. I think they both tied for the fastest wide receiver 40 at 4.31. So, I mean, those guys are still going to be out there, and I don't know how early they go, you know? So that's a possibility.
Is Isabella going to be DHB part 2, though? That's
I don't know.
The question. That's the
I
question.
don't know.
Undersized dude, small guy, but he's fast.
But Darius Hayward-Bay, that's the opposite, right? He wasn't a small dude. He was big. He was like the big, athletic, fast guy.
Yeah, he was big. Yeah, you're right. I'm confusing him.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I don't know.
All I'm saying
not my
is,
comment. Not my comment. Other people's comments.
all I'm saying is this, is that that's a motherfucker that will probably end up on a motherfucking Patriots team if nobody else takes him. And then everyone's going to be saying, fuck.
He's going to ball out.
Fuck. Why did we take that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he's that type of dude. I would like Isabella. Not too early, obviously, but I would like him. I know John likes him. We saw the stickers on the helmet. But, yeah, man, definitely intrigued. We need to try to get Isabella on the show. I want to hear about his Senior Bowl experience.
There you go.
Shout us out if you think Isabella will be.
Hey, you know who?
Tag Isabella and tell him to come on the show on Twitter.
You know who's representing himself, right?
No.
Your boy, Rashawn Gary.
Is he really?
He's representing himself. He's his own agent, bro. So we
Ted
might be
Bundy
able
now?
to, we
He's
might
Ted
actually
Bundy
we
now?
might actually be able to fucking get him on the show, dog. That's all I'm saying. Hit him up.
All right. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Time now for Silver and Black Facts, brought to you every week by Pro Football Focus.
That's right.
Check them out at PFF_Raiders for all your Silver and Black Facts. Facts this week: Tyre Whitehead ranked 7th among linebackers in 2018 with 32 run stops. Run stops are tackles that constitute a win for the defense. Tyre Whitehead's 2018 overall PFF grades and position ranks for weeks 1 through 9 was a 43.6. Boo. But 10 through 17 jumps up to a 70.4. That was good enough for 25th out of 96 linebackers. That's pretty much middle of the pack. We did see Whitehead's improvement, but it's not going to get it done next year. Whitehead was not hired to be the man. He was hired to bring his lunch pail to work and get some tackles. So we need to address that. Markel Lee, his 71.6 run defense grade ranked 28th out of 109 linebackers that played 150 snaps in 2018. And we got some Jason Kabinda. He had a very small sample size, graded out at a 73.5. And overall, PFF grades and position rank: Jason Kabinda 73.5. Again, Markel Lee 62.5, and then Whitehead 56.3. And the guy a lot of people have been excited about says that he's a good young talent. Nick Morrow 51.5. So he's got a lot of improvement to go.
Yeah,
Morrow's probably a situational third down dude. Would you say not?
I would say yeah, man, but I also feel like he didn't get a whole lot of chances to fucking shine either.
He didn't.
You know?
I mean, early on in the season, he wasn't getting those snaps.
Right.
Obviously,
right.
But
So I mean, those numbers could skew if you get the playing time. Everybody knows that if you're not on the field, man, it's kind of hard to stay in the game. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to stay on top of your shit when you're not getting the playing time and you're not getting the call. Especially
that position, right? Linebacker, very cerebral position. In the NFL. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But regardless of how you feel about those guys, there's a lot of room for improvement in that linebacker core. That's why I was not mad at Chris Simmons when he had that take. A lot of you out there right now drooling over, what's his name? Baltimore free agent, middle linebacker.
C.J. Mosley.
A lot of you guys want to see him in the silver and black. So do I. The linebacker core needs to be addressed. We had a former linebacker head coach, former linebacker GM. We haven't seen shit. Since Kirk Morrison, and a lot of you don't like Kirk Morrison. So, I mean, it just goes to show.
I mean, come on, man. Meet us somewhere, man. Meet us halfway, guys.
Somewhere.
Shit.
I mean, Kirk Morrison was tackling people so you didn't have to.
Right.
Because I know a lot of you wanted to. We have to right now. Some of you guys need to get in there.
Yeah,
Some of you guys need to leave the house on Sunday and get in there and help us out. Walk on. I don't give a shit. If we don't sign somebody, I'm calling some of you.
Show up dressed on game day, dog. Put some goddamn pads on. Get some pants on. Get that fucking girdle on.
If you've donated to the show, that means I have your personal email address, which I'm just going to qualify you as eligible. How about that? You've now qualified as eligible if you've donated to the show. Get ready. Be on standby. Get them shin pads skirted up and ready to go.
That tailbone pad.
I'm coming at you. Get some eye black, because if you don't know what you're doing, eye black will make it look like you kind of know what you're doing. Right. You get some eye black on, you feel a little bit more official.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'm ready to play.
Or you might be mistaken as the third member of Demolition. It's fucking, or fucking.
Also not a bad thing.
Legion of Doom.
And also not a bad. You could blend into the crowd if things go bad. So quick list here. Well, we won't do the whole list, but quick list. 2019 free agent linebackers and their respective PFF grade. Jordan Hicks, number 1, 80.7 for the Eagles. And your boy C.J. Mosley at a 73.6 for the Ravens. Anthony Barr with the Vikings, 71.4. K.J. Wright right behind him at 71.3. We got one K.J. on our defense. That's enough. Quan Alexander for the Bucks. Then you got Michael Kendricks under that for the Seahawks. Denzel Perryman, Preston Brown, Deion Buchanan. Rounding out that list is Jake Ryan with a nice even 0.0 for the Green Bay Packers. So make what you want of these grades, but there's a list for you. C.J. Mosley, I think, is at the top of most folks' list there in that group. So
definitely,
we'll see what happens. If you were going to throw money at C.J., what would you throw at him?
I mean, that's the question, right? Last season, he actually he got injured early on. So there's that. I mean, he came back. He was one of the top rated linebackers the year previous, right?
Yeah.
Came back, we saw, 73 point, that's a decent rating, but I don't know. I don't know that's going to make you want to throw a whole ton of money at him.
Right. So his base salary in 2017 was $8.7 million.
So what do you think he's? Well, I guess you got to look at what the trend is right now for linebackers. Where are they at? Like, what's the highest paid linebacker out right now?
Right now,
because you could argue that he's probably going to want somewhere in that range, if not more.
We'll see. He's entering his fifth year. I think he was drafted in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So we got inside linebacker. Here we go. We got Kuechly at the top of that, right? He's averaging about $12 million a year. Wagner, Ogletree, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Where's he at on this list right now? CJ Mosley's way down there. So he's making that total value 8.7. He's probably going to want to shoot up. I'd say probably to that $9 million range, $10 million range. Would you say not?
I would say yeah, man. But, I mean, you got Kuechly's what? Kuechly's at what?
His total value is 61. His average per year is 12 mil. Total guaranteed is 34 mil. Fully guaranteed 27.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to get that, dog.
The Kuechly money? You think all the way to the top, huh?
I think so. Because previous to this, he was lights out. I think he was the league's leading tackler in 2017. So I don't see a reason why his agent wouldn't be fucking out there fighting for that money, that kind of money.
Good conversation right now going down in the chat. Somebody mentioned Malcolm suiting up next year as a linebacker, but Bobby Wasabi quick to point out Malcolm's a guaranteed flag. He says Zebras will hook him up because he's going to smash fools, and I think Bobby's right. I think Malcolm would definitely infuse energy into this defense, but having him out there every down, that's a liability now. So Malcolm, definitely a good free agent to consider this offseason. Do understand it comes with his caveats, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you gotta provide a terrarium for his snake, and you're gonna have to provide him with 2 lockers because all the extra T-shirts he brings to the game, he's got to bring his fucking his WWF tees, bro. He needs a locker for those.
And that Gatorade budget just went up, right? That Red Bull budget just went up. So Malcolm to be considered, but I wouldn't overspend. I really wouldn't. I think this is a guy that would do it for the love.
Oh, hell yeah.
Maybe bring him in just above the vet minimum. See what he's got. So we got a guest tonight. We got Maliik Obee coming on the show.
Yeah.
Maliik Obee, writing for FPC, full press coverage, written for a few. I finally got my shit straight there. Sorry, Maliik. Once again, if I'm still wrong, you have a chance to come on the air right now. Maliik,
Set him straight.
Maliik has volunteered himself to enter the 2-minute drill tonight.
Oh,
so we'll have another run at that.
Oh,
again, high score 13, and then you last week we had a 9. Said by who?
Well, you boy me.
Said by who?
Damn.
Are you blanking
I'm drawing a blank.
Are you
right
really
now?
Blanking out? It was Dwayne Douglas, man.
Dwayne, dog, our boy.
Newest member of the Crow's Nest podcast.
Jesus Christ. Dwayne, I'm sorry, dog. I know I blanked right now. I just blanked.
Yeah, Dwayne Douglas. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
The 2-minute, you're 2-minute drill and you fucking panicked, dude.
You fucking put me on the spot like that, dog. We're just dropping questions I wasn't waiting for. Bro.
Who was the contestant on last week's 2-minute drill?
Bobby Wasabi.
I do appreciate you didn't stall. There was no song. So, we'll bring Maliik on. See if, maybe I'm setting the bar too long. Maybe he's going to go 14. He told me his wheelhouse is video games and hip-hop, no specific era.
Uh-oh.
But Maliik looks like a young buck, so you got to tell this old head an era because I'm going to go straight to my comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
So, which may not be your comfort zone.
It might not.
I'm telling you guys, if you're coming on the 2-minute drill, be specific about your wheelhouse.
Yeah, bro.
It's 8 guaranteed questions that you should know.
Like, maybe give them test me on the top 3 red spaghetti sauces.
Ooh, shit. I'll tell you right now, Rouse. Not on anybody's list. Rouse. Spaghetti. I like to make my... First off, I make my own sauce. I'm going to give you the recipe right now.
Of course you do, Kenny.
I'm going to make you the recipe. It's real easy.
There you go.
Start with some shredded carrots. That's right. I said shredded carrots.
Oh, shit.
Some garlic and some chopped onion and some really good olive oil. Don't skimp on your olive oil.
Oh, no. You got to have the legit shit.
Get some good olive oil. Make sure
that shit don't come in no plastic.
No plastic. I was just going to say.
Plastic bottle, though.
Get that glass bottle.
That's it, man.
If you could get a ceramic bottle, Then you know you spending some money on a ceramic bottle. And you just let those simmer. Just let them take a bath in that. Make sure oil's not too hot. Shouldn't be too hot. And then,
you don't want to scorch the shit.
No.
You don't want to scorch the shit.
And then when you add, what you want to do is add a can of S&W crushed tomatoes. Go with S&W. It's pre-seasoned. So you're going to add your seasoning on top of that. You can have a little bit of basil in there. You know, a little salt, a little pepper, whatever you want. I'll leave the seasonings up to you because you can do it simple.
You give it a little taste test though, man, because if the tomatoes already got seasoning, you got to make sure you're giving it. So a little taste, a little, and then a taste.
I'll tell you what, don't skimp on the salt because it will get buried in that acid. And then last but not least, if you're going to do meat, you want to put that in before your sauce. If you're going to do meat, get a little sauce in that oil too. Soak up the flavor of that onion and that garlic. The carrot's in there for a reason. The carrot's smooth and rich and sweet. Once it marinates in that sauce for a while, it's going to take the edge off that acidic tomato. A lot of you people don't like red sauce because maybe it's a little bit bitter. I understand that, but that's because it's being made wrong. It's because you're pouring it straight out the jar. The last ingredient, and you're going to trip out, the last ingredient in your spaghetti sauce needs to be brown sugar.
I want some brown sugar.
Thank you. It needs to be brown sugar. Again, that's going to take the edge off. It's going to make your flavor a little deeper, a little richer.
Oh, there you go.
Don't overdo it on the brown sugar. Again, taste. And don't add too much salt early on because as that sauce simmer down now, it's going to taste saltier. So taste at the end. Maybe season a little bit more at the end. But that's all. Make sure you're salting your pasta water real heavy. That should taste like seawater.
Oh.
It should taste like seawater.
Salty.
Why are you guys doing this wrong?
Salty.
He's doing it wrong.
Yeah, man. Put some salt in there.
Put some salt in there. And I'm not trying to throw salt in your game.
No.
But put some in your pot.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Always trying to throw some fucking salt in the pot. Always.
Should we get Maliik on the line here?
Let's do that, though.
All right, let's get it on. We'll be right back with Maliik Obee.
There you go.
Maliik B.
Maliik B. That sounds like a fucking R&B artist if I've ever heard one.
You know who Maliik B is. Come on, man. All right, welcome back to the show. We're bringing on Maliik Obee here from, I believe he writes for Full Press Coverage. Is that right, Maliik?
Yes, it is, and thank you for having me tonight, fellas. I'm writing for Full Press Coverage, and I'm covering Black college football for HBCU Game Day. We got about a month and I want to say 23 days or so until the draft. So, you know, it's basically draft season. I'm just, you know, really going into overdrive in terms of watching film, looking for players that are scheme fits for the Raiders. And, you know, every day around this time is draft rumors, there's trade rumors going on. So,
yeah,
you know, trying to go with the flow and, you know, put out educated guesses and good content related to Raiders and, you know, things that's going on in the league.
Hey, so I just want to reset this. Your Twitter handle is OB1. Is that correct?
Yes, OBEE, the number 1 NE, as in like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, OB1.
I'm glad you
That's
reset.
me.
I'm glad you reset that because everything you just said about the draft and people out there chatting, you are our only hope, Obi. You are our only hope. You
fucking truth. Right
you got to bring us home. Now you're trying to be modest and humble. Say you're going with the flow,
right?
And I'm going to give you some advice. You already know. Don't do that because the flow's wild, bro. You already know the flow ain't the way to go.
People be wilding out there.
You fuck around and draft some wild shit. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know.
Oh, man. I mean, to be honest with you, this time of the year, it's so much going on, and it's so easy to get influenced. And what we have to be aware of is that not everybody is sitting in the house on Saturdays watching, let's say, 5 to 7, you know, college football games.
Yeah.
They're not going to know who were the top 100 players on Rivals or, you know, Yahoo Sports or whatever coming out of high school. They don't care about these things. They care about their specific team. They may know a few players' names, you know, or their alma mater, They watch that on Sundays. And most of the time, a lot of people, they're watching these games inebriated because they're just coming from the tailgate where they got a 12-pack in the refrigerator, whatever. So around this time of year, once the college football playoffs ends, and you got people that are just saying, oh, I know who Trevor Lawrence is now, or I know who this guy is because he played in the damn championship. It's up to the rest of us to say, well, this is why this player is going to be good at the next level or not going to be good at the next level. Right. And then, it's easy to sway opinions. You have a mock draft come out, and one guy says Rashawn Gary's going to the Raiders. Everybody's going to write about Rashawn Gary going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Or why he should or why he shouldn't, So, and then it's like, well, these three people say Rashawn Gary going to the Raiders, so what the hell are you talking about? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, you know what? I feel like I'm a very opinionated person, so the most that I can do is try to give you a statistic or number or something to back up what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. What you choose to do with that is perfectly fine with me. But I'm just gonna show you I'm not trying to talk out of my ass, Yeah. So this season, draft season, there have been so many examples of people like, okay, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm like, you know what, that's fine. And the perfect example of that is the Combine. We've seen one of the, arguably, in terms of intangibles, in terms of, like, testing off the charts, Hakeem Butler is, like, godsend. Like, this guy is ridiculous in terms of, measurements, in terms of 40 time and everything. But he can't catch a damn ball. He's like, he led the nation in drops last year.
Facts.
And, and people see when you got YouTube clips, highlights of somebody, yes, this guy does make catches one-handed, over three people and all that stuff. But that's a highlight is taking the best of you and putting it in a video, So it's like, I'm like, well, hey, he led the nation in drops. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just seen this guy do a 360 flip to catch the damn ball. I'm like, okay, Yeah. So this time of the year is very fun, but it's frustrating. Yeah. And because of the fact that I'm going to the draft, I feel like that if any Raiders fan out there hears this, I feel like if you're a true Raiders fan, you've been through everything, and we're talking about people that have at least been Raiders fans at least 15 years.
Right.
I think that if you can afford it, you should go to the draft because this is easily, by far, the most important Raiders draft in draft, I would say, in at least 30 years.
That's fucking true.
Because there's so much, going into it. Like, if we really think about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but I was really thinking about it. Like, I personally do believe that Derek Carr should get another year. But if you have a GM that's coming in new, that's, as prolific and renowned as he is in terms of talent and scouting and everything, he's coming in fresh. Mm-hmm. And you got a coach coming in. He's got 9 years left on his deal. Am I wrong for them to say, hey, we want to start fresh with our own quarterback? If that's a possibility, I think that with the Raiders, a lot of people have the players they like, and they have, and Derek Carr is one of them. But I want to say that I think people should be open to the idea that this franchise, like any other franchise, can let you down and do what they think is best for them, and it might not be what you want it to be. So I do feel like that there is a chance that Derek Carr won't be the Raiders quarterback on August whatever, Just like I think a lot of other things, like Jared Cook might possibly not come back, or Kelechi Osemele might get traded, or Carl Joseph might get traded, or, a lot of ideas that I'm thinking about. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that I think we can all agree on is John Gruden is wildly unpredictable. We don't know what the hell he's thinking right now. We think we have it figured out, but we really have no clue.
That's true.
Yep.
And then you have Mike Mayock, who's the variable. He's like, this is a great opportunity for him to prove that everything that he talked about on NFL Network during draft season for the last how many years, he can do it right. And the pressure is on him. So I think that we got to keep that in mind. Like, Gruden, not Grudock.
Yeah.
Gruden he's going to do something that he can do 10 things that we want, or 10 things that the majority wants, and that 11th thing is going to be so damn wild. It's like, where did that even come from? Mm-hmm. It's going to be something that happens at this draft that nobody could have possibly predicted, and Gruden's going to do it. It's going to happen.
So in your gut, Derek Carr is a quarterback next year or not? In your gut?
In my gut, he is the quarterback for next year. Mm-hmm. And I think it's financially, I think it's the smart thing to do for so many reasons. One, you've already given this guy the money. You've already given him the money. And if we're we're talking about drafting a quarterback, I think that Kyler Murray is an athletic specimen for his size. I think he has so many gifts and tools. I do not think he can survive, even at the weight that he put on, behind this Raiders line, especially if Tom Cable remains a coach. And he will not have any talent. If you take Kyler Murray in top 5, that means that you're not trading back for more picks, which means that we're relying on free agency with majority of the offensive talent already going to be franchised. I would like to see Derek Carr. I know a lot of people say this, and it sounds like an excuse, but it's true. I would like to see Derek Carr get another year under Gruden in terms of, like, having some type of consistency. If you put some people around him outside of Jordy Nelson and Seth Roberts this year, and you say, hey, you didn't do shit, even with what we gave you, then you say, okay, 2020, you got Tua, you got Fromm, or you wait for Trevor Lawrence, or you look and see what free agency is looking like in 2020, or you got all this capital, you got 2 first-round draft picks next year, make a trade for a quarterback. Yeah. Or, free a cap up and get somebody in the future. But you got to give this guy another year, in my opinion. I'm not saying that he isn't flawed. Like, the statistics show that he has been average since he was MVP finalist. Like, he's like one of 6 quarterbacks to throw for less than 20 touchdowns and over 4,000 yards in the season last year. That's ridiculous. But I think that in another year, you can really see what you got in Derek Carr. And he's still young, So
yeah, you got a good quarterback class next year, better than this year. Again, like you said, I think that's been the key words. Year 2 in the system, that's when you really see what your quarterback's made out of. And Derek Carr seemed to be picking up the system at the second half of the 2018 season. So yeah, I think you give him just enough rope for one more year, and then you go from there. Yep. Now, keep it in terms of the draft. The combine just happened this weekend. I saw you tweeted out earlier that the combine didn't do much to change your mock draft. Now, I know you haven't published your 7-round mock quite yet, but do you want to talk about this a little bit? Maybe did change, or maybe walk us through the first round for the Raiders. Just kind of share your thoughts right now after the combine.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So my thing is that I've been trying to think in terms I've come to the conclusion that I can't think about what John Gruden would do because I really don't have an idea. So I said, okay, well, let me think of what I would do. So I've drawn up so many scenarios like, hey, you get an edge rusher in free agency, or you get a real linebacker in free agency, like a C.J. Mosley, a Quan Alexander, or something like that, or you make a trade and get like a guy with some potential, but that has struggled but can use a new home like a Darren Lee from the New York Jets as your inside linebacker. So many scenarios I've been thinking of. So with the mock draft, the first 3 picks for me weren't as important to me. I think that what I've come to the conclusion is that the Raiders have so many needs at the back end of the draft that they're going to have to hit on, and they have a lot of money. So they have to make this work. Like, it doesn't have to be a playoff contender, but it has to show some promise. So I think that when you really sit and look at this roster, there are so many holes. So I've tried to find a way to say, hey, first thing, let me just say this. I haven't worked out trades for everybody else, but I did do a trade back in my mock draft with the Jaguars, taking their second pick and going from there. So with that being said, the Raiders have 5 picks in the top 50. So I'm looking at 2 edge rushers, regardless of free agency, because at the end of the day, now this might make some people mad, I personally feel that if the Raiders are going to be serious about this and they're going to be serious about going forward, that Arden Key should only be a situational pass rusher. He should not be a starter.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking at somebody that's over 270, and I'm looking at somebody like a Cleveland Farrell, Brian Burns, one of those guys at the top of the draft. Burns. So let me just say it. I'll just give away one more pick. 24th pick, I felt like that the Raiders went cornerback early because I picked Greedy Williams at number 4, and 24th pick, I changed my mind so many times, but this is the one guy that said, okay, I'm going to just make some people mad, but I could see it happening, and it wasn't my personal preference, but it was what I could see happening, and I took Montez Sweat at 24, right? Mm. So why I did that? Because he gained 15 pounds in a month, basically. He ran a damn 4.4, which was cool. But he has the versatility to play, with his hand on the ground. He could drop back in coverage. He has sideline to sideline speed, 6'6", 2, whatever. He's a freak. But I'm thinking from Gruden's standpoint, I think that he's looking for young, agile talent, players that can move across the field, because the Raiders aren't really consistent in terms of like putting pressure on people. It's more so a coverage-based, zone coverage team. So I'm like looking at people that can drop back as the linebacker position continues to evolve. Look at guys that can chip tight ends like Bruce Irvin did to Kelsey last year and all that stuff. So with that being said, the later rounds, it was really important to me to address the offense and defense as best as possible. And I felt like trading back give more picks and more opportunities to do that. So I got 2 wide receivers, 2 edge rushers, a guard, a cornerback, and a defensive tackle. I can't say the rest of the names, but yeah. Okay. So I feel like with that being said, I feel like you can address a lot,
Okay.
I'm looking at one of the main things for me. I love Jordy Nelson as a Packer. I do not love Jordy Nelson as a Raider at this point in terms of anything outside of being a mentor and not being a first option. So I'm under the belief that the 2020 draft is going to be possibly even better than the 2014 draft in terms of receivers. So all I feel like the Raiders have to do right now is hit on one of these receivers and build on something for Vegas. And then the second receiver for me would be a complimentary person, somebody that can be, 4 wide out, 5 wide out sets, a punt returner, kick returner type guy, a Johnny Holton, but way more reliable type thing. Yeah. So it was really important to me to say, listen, I think people really have to be real about where the Raiders are at. Like right now, this roster, if you take away everybody, like if you took the 40, 30, whatever guys that are looking for extensions, if they don't get them, they'll hit free agency. This roster is bare and it's ugly. You got Colton Miller and Brandon Parker who are in dire need of a great offseason and some bulk on them. You got Kelechi Osemele, who dropped weight and didn't really look good. Gabe Jackson was pretty inconsistent. Rodney Hudson is the key. He's the glue. He's probably the most consistent player on the Raiders overall. Yep. Running back position, we don't know if Marshawn Lynch is coming back. Doug Martin's old. Chris Warren is 270 allegedly, and he did great against some third-string players in preseason. He doesn't really have a resume. Jalen Rashad is
Hall of Fame pedigree, according to many of our listeners. Just give him the gold jacket tonight.
You know what? I can't even get mad at Raiders fans for being excited about having somebody to be excited about. I can't get mad because if we really look at it, if we really want to look at it, the Raiders over the last 30 years have drafted well at certain positions, but they haven't gotten long-term consistency out of most of the skill positions. So like quarterback, running back, and wide receiver, after Tim Brown, you'll have spurts of guys like Napoleon, like whichever wide receiver you can name that had
James Jett
800 plus, 800 plus yard seasons and fell off the face of the earth. They can't draft linebackers. Corners has been up and down, Namdi and Garyon is to be determined, a couple others. But I feel that it's okay for Raiders fans to say, hey, we finally drafted somebody that we can be excited about, because they've missed so many times. So I think that in order for this franchise to get back to where it was in terms of the golden days, you have to hit on draft. You have to hit on draft to an extent. It's hard for any team, but the Raiders really have to do better. So
it's been dry.
Yeah, I think
it's been real dry, Maliik.
Oh man, to be honest, let me just say this: I have the utmost respect for John Gruden, whether it was a friend thing or whether it was legitimately saying, "Hey, I got a 10-year contract. I want people to respect what I'm doing." They might not see the vision that I had last year as we were losing, but I do have a long-term plan, and I'm not going to let the ego that people think I have get in the way by saying, hey, I'm going to bring in Mike Mayock, the best that I can possibly get in terms of helping me with this draft thing. I mean, he didn't really have to do that. Like I said, it could have been a favor for a favor thing or whatever, but at the end of the day, if I want to bring in anybody to be a GM, I mean, we could talk about the numbers, the contracts and all that stuff, the experience, whatever. Gruden's, one of his main flaws is the drafting that he did in Tampa Bay, So if he says, hey, I'm bringing in the best that I could find in terms of helping me with drafting, I gotta applaud that, So I think that you're telling me this guy, people are very upset, about him having that long of a contract. But when you give him that contract, you're saying, hey, here's the keys. So if he takes the keys and says the first person that I'm picking up is the best that I can get at drafting, I gotta give him an opportunity to do what he's going to do. So while he is unpredictable, I am optimistic about what he could possibly do in this draft with Mayock on his side.
I mean, I think John had every opportunity to go out there and get himself a lame duck GM,
absolutely,
and let that and control all that power, and he didn't. So you putting a spotlight on that's a good point. I think Che wanted to jump in here. You had a question for you.
I had a question just to run it back real quick. I know you're not releasing any more of the names on your draft, and that's fair. I just want to know, what round do you take that second defensive end?
Damn!
Oh, I forgot to. I'll tell you. I forgot to say that I did get a running back. I'm sorry. I forgot to say that. I did get a running back as well, because I do feel like whether or not Jalen Richard is around, DeAndre Washington, who I think could possibly be a trade casualty, whatever, I did get a running back later. But to answer your question, it was really tough for me, because I feel like that any round that the Raiders could get depth at the position, and I'm operating under the premise that they're going to get somebody in free agency, and they're going to get somebody obviously in the top 35. One of them has to be an edge rusher. Right. People will lose their mind if they get 5 or 6 picks and they don't draft an edge rusher, and that person's going to be under extreme pressure to be the next Khalil Mack regardless. But anyway, the second edge rusher that I selected was in the 3rd round.
Okay.
And I felt like that the combine showed that there is a great amount of athleticism and speed at all positions, but especially at defensive end, outside linebacker. So
absolutely.
I think what the Raiders didn't have was a lot of athleticism on the defensive line, like Frosty Rucker. I can't even think of the guy that they signed from the Dolphins, and he gave up a touchdown in his first game. It was some guy, outside of Key to an extent, Hurst, Hall. Like, everybody else is, like, slow and fat. Like, it was bad. It was like, once you get to that outside tackle, bye.
Right.
20-yard gain at least. So I felt like that in this draft that, there's so many edge rushers, but there's so many edge rushers that can at least be coached up. So I feel like, to be honest with you, I felt like that from what I've seen at the combine, it didn't really change my opinion on too many people at the top, but in terms of like some guys like Chase Winovich from Michigan.
Yep. He caught my eye too, dog. He caught my eye too. No. I just saying he caught my eye too. He's one of the guys I have on my list too.
I want to say this because I didn't tweet this. I want to say that this draft has killed so many stereotypes. I'm so happy that all of these white defensive linemen were fast. You know, so you can't only say, "Oh, he's chippy, he's gritty,
right.
he's like Chase Winovich ran a damn 4.6. Like it was
4.59.
so many guys that I thought were faster than him that weren't.
Yeah.
And the tape that he has is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So I mean, this guy, I'm praising him because he came from being a quarterback and he didn't even play defense at all until I want to say like his second year at Michigan. And then they throw him behind Taco Charlton, and now he's like Senior Bowl draft, top 100 pick.
Right.
I got to give him his props, So, there were a lot of guys that said, man, I didn't know he's that athletic. So I think that in a sense, like guys like the times surprised me, like Montez Sweat. Time surprised me,
right.
But I feel like I knew that he was fast. So I don't think that it was much of a difference because I think he's a top 15 player. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, a guy like Ja'Kai Polite, who put on this extra weight, got slower, then said the dumbest thing I've ever heard to come out. For that, in my opinion, he doesn't even need to be drafted. You're a guy that's so talented, and you're going to say that, well, I like this team because they didn't say anything mean to me. Like, dude, you're a grown-ass man. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You're a grown-ass man. You think that when you get to the NFL, people are going to stop critiquing your game because you got 8 or 9 sacks? Like, come on. That's not how this works. That shows me he has the wrong people in his corner and he's immature. I don't want anything to do with him. I've never had him mock to the Raiders, period, but that just killed it for me. I think that, this is a point where he needs to reevaluate the people that he has around him.
This is great draft insight, Malik. We'll be definitely keeping a close eye on you. Want to see what that mock looks like when it comes out.
Yeah.
Again, just to kind of go back, you said people might be upset about your Montez pick at 24. I think they'd be more concerned with your Greedy Williams pick at 4. You kind of rushed right past that. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
You moved past that real fast.
It was real smooth too, real smooth.
Can I please defend that?
Please go ahead.
Let me say that. I'm gonna defend that. Because I am a Greedy Williams stan. This dude is not even 200 pounds, and I rely on him to check anybody outside. Now, the only way I could see that happening is if the Raiders made a splash defensive end signing, which would be kind of hard at this point because it would have to be, when I say splash, it has to be Clowney, Lawrence, who's probably going to get tagged at the least, if not extended. It has to be somebody like that for people to say, well, damn, you're going to pass on Josh Allen, Cleveland Farrell, Quentin Williams, Ed Oliver, et cetera, to take a corner. So it has to be somebody that's like, okay, we're going to be good. At least we can wait like 20 picks to get somebody else. At least. It has to be somebody major. So if that's not the case, then Greedy's out of the picture. But I feel like if that does happen, then there's a chance that Gruden could say, hey, man, look, I'm under the belief that it's been so long since I've seen the Raiders with 2 good corners that Greedy Williams and Conley growing together and the mentalities that they have, and Conley's getting his confidence back, and as cocky as Greedy Williams is, but the work ethic that he has, I would love to see those 2 grow together with the help of actual good safeties back there. And that's another thing. I think that people are going to be upset because I really believe that Carl Joseph is going to get traded. I don't think that Carl Joseph is a bad player. I love Carl Joseph. I just think that I was so confused by the fact that Gunther had the audacity to bench him as if the Raiders weren't one of the worst teams in the league last year. So that's telling me, like, what the hell? I mean, really, think about it. Like, that made me think the Raiders are, like, seriously tanking. I mean, players don't tank. Organizations tank. You got a guy that's, I don't care how small he is. I'm not putting Reggie Nelson and Marcus Gilchrist on the field together ever.
No.
Ever. That was a favor. I love you from Cincinnati type thing or something, because there's no way that I'm going to mentally stunt this guy's growth when he was a first-round pick by benching him and he's perfectly healthy.
Right.
If I'm already, and they know that the Raiders knew that once they traded Khalil Mack, and I hate to keep bringing that up, but you knew the defense was going to take a hit mentally when you trade a player like that, and then you bench another first-round player.
Yeah.
I hope that he maintains his confidence in terms of his game and what he can do, because it's so much mental. I would really be messed up if think about it. If I'm on one of the worst teams in the league in terms of record, and they won't even play me, what the hell? Like, I would really feel some type of way. But
yeah.
I'm nervous about that Carl Joseph might be on his way out.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like KJ, he did regain that confidence. He came off the bench with the chip on his shoulder, and Paul seemed to shift it up a little bit. I mean, KJ was getting more like missile looks. He was getting sent to the quarterback. He seemed like they both found their groove in regards to like what their role is on this offense. And Gruden did mention this past week that it's looking like the Raiders are going to pick up his fifth-year option. So it's looking to me like KJ will be around. But let's shift gears a little bit here. We've been talking about the draft, but before that happens, free agency gets started. So I just want to ask you one question about free agency. There's going to be some splashy signings. I think the Raiders are going to be in on one of them. I don't think it's going to be multiple, but one of them is going to be a splashy signing. Tell me the one guy that the Raiders have to draft in free agency that makes an instant impact on this team, either side of the ball. It doesn't have to be the splashy signing, but who's the guy that's going to move the needle on this Raiders team?
If I had to pick one, unrealistically, in my opinion, it would be Landon Collins, because the Raiders need somebody that like that to where the corners can say, it doesn't matter who the corner is. Even if it's a mid-tier corner, having somebody like that behind them gives them more confidence. But I don't think that'll happen, so I had to go with somebody. And I think he's not a big-name wide receiver, but I think that if he does hit free agency and the Raiders can get him, that he will make a major impact. He kind of got overshadowed by the players that he's around. But Tyrell Williams from the Chargers, I feel like that if you give Derek Carr somebody that's around the same age, that has hunger about him, like he was overshadowed by Keenan Allen and everything, and he had his issues with injuries and all that. But if you give him somebody like that, because right now we're just looking at chemistry. You got to build some type of chemistry. He has really only chemistry with Jared Cook, and so somebody with some potential and some talent, it would have to be Tyrell Williams, or immediate impact. It's not a flashy pick. It's not a sexy pick, but Henry Anderson from the Jets is somebody that I realistically think the Raiders can get, because of the fact that we look at the names of guys that have a chance of hitting free agency at defensive end. Most of those guys will be franchised or re-signed, and then it'll be like slim pickings, or it'll be like old as hell outside linebackers like Terrell Suggs. So it's like Anderson is like 27. He just had like 7 or 8 sacks for the Jets with, Leonard Williams being inconsistent and doing whatever it is he feels like it. Nathan Shepard was a rookie. He didn't really have much help around him. He was still beating double teams, great in run support. This is somebody that's going to come in, and every week you're going to get the best out of him. He can possibly have 10 sacks as a Raider with Mo Hurst and Ed Oliver or Quinnen Williams on the inside, and somebody even halfway decent on the other side. It doesn't really matter with him because he is a solid player. He's not going to be a Pro Bowler, but he's a solid player. He's going to be like a fan favorite, gritty, no pun intended, but a gritty player that fans can rely on to make the plays and show up every Sunday. He's not going to be Khalil Mack, and nobody is, but he will be somebody that's affordable and productive, in my opinion. So I'm thinking like free agency, there isn't anybody that I could say like, man, the Raiders are going to like give this guy a whole lot of money, and I can really rely on him to want to give the Raiders 100% and give the Raiders 100% and lead the franchise in the right direction, that I'm really confident about, except those two. And I think that Henry Anderson, I'm telling you, man, I think like this guy, there's a lot of people that are good on bad teams or fairly good on bad teams, but the things that I see from him, I feel like that it's either a team like the Raiders sign him, or when the Patriots do their annual purging of players that we think are good, and they get a guy like Henry Anderson, and then they're in the Super Bowl again, like, who the hell is Henry Anderson, and why does he have 3 sacks in the AFC Championship game?
Right.
It's going to be one of those cases, because they do this every year. Like, they're going to let Trey Flowers walk.
Yep.
And somebody's going to sign him to give him a lot of money, and it's going to be like, hopefully this works. And then they'll get somebody like a Henry Anderson that was like middle of the pack defensive end, and then he'll be a Pro Bowler, or he'll be a 11 sack guy, and it's like, well, damn, where do they find these guys?
Right,
it's coaching, man. Coaching matters, dog. Coaching
definitely,
matters.
100%.
Yeah. I was poking around online. I was trying to do some research about you, Maliik, and I found that you are indeed a published author.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your book, because this kind of segues into our next segment. Tell me about your book.
All right, so I mean, different areas have their unique sound of music that, homegrown. Like Seattle has grunge, hip hop originated and spread out across the globe, but originated in the Bronx, et cetera, et cetera. And in DC, we have what's called go-go music, and is very impactful for everybody in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, or as it's called the DMV. It's been very impactful before about 60, 70 years, and it's just the pulse or the heartbeat of our area, and it's the culture surrounding it. And now a lot of things are changing in DC and other cities like it, in terms of gentrification, in terms of uprooting and people, going different places and everything. And a lot of the culture has been destroyed or moved with people or whatever. And it's not really the same. Nothing really stays the same, but the DC area that I grew up in is not the same. The city itself is not the same. And we don't really have too many documentaries and books in terms of like, you would see on a grunge or rock and roll or, EDM, whatever. There's not much media of the genre. So I felt like, hey, it's something that I grew up on and it's very important to me and a lot of other people I know in my specific era and generation. So I'm going to write a book about it. Like, why not? And, I just got on Microsoft Word one day and started writing and kept writing and put a book out, and I've sold a couple thousand copies. Like, it's been a great experience. It's something like I did on, like randomly and just really put some thought into it. And yeah, it's been really fun. It's really inspired me to start thinking about writing some other books or, just writing more. And just, it did a lot for me in terms of igniting the flame in me and giving me self-confidence and saying, okay, I can be a decent writer one day.
That's what's up, man.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys listen to the show are aspiring writers, but it's definitely a labor of love. It's a labor of love. You never know what's going to happen when you put that book out. I'm glad you sold some copies, Obee. I might actually
Thank you.
Be checking that out, because
there you go.
I'm a hip-hop head myself.
There you go.
I feel like go-go is one of the most unexplored like genres of hip-hop that's out there. So the fact that you put it out, it's good that you're educating the public, because you had the bass scene down in Miami and Seattle, which people sleep on. You had trap music in the South, which has been around for a long time, is really now getting some legs underneath it. You obviously had the boom bap out there.
And can we please have a discussion about where trap music originated? Because I would love to hear your opinion and my opinion, because I think that some people are getting credit for it that shouldn't get credit for it. So we can have that talk whenever you're ready.
Hey, I don't know too much about that. I wasn't really into that sound so much when it came to the South. I was mostly listening to Outkast and Ghetto Boys. But my first experience, my first exposure to trap music was the Underground Kings, UGK.
Right.
And I think I ran into them on the Menace to Society soundtrack. And I started getting into them because they had that bass sound too. Trap and the bass sound went together. But I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on that.
Well, in my opinion, I think if we're talking about genre of trap or basically like, let me get the hell out of my circumstances music, in my opinion, I think that sound, especially like with heavy, well, no, I don't want to say with heavy bass, but like darker street music, of that lyrical content. In my opinion, that started with like 3 6 Mafia, like you said, UGK, 8 Ball, MJG. Basically, in my opinion, like that came from Memphis rap, and like especially like Project Pat kind of like segued into T.I. and Young Jeezy and all those people that got more of the credit for it. But I'm a really big Project Pat 3 6 Mafia fan, and I feel like if Project Pat didn't go to jail when he went to jail, he would be a lot more famous. But that's another story.
That's what's up.
Well, that's a perfect segue to what we're about to get into. I feel like you got one of these questions already. Maliik, we got a thing on our show called the 2-Minute Drill. We like to bring on so-called experts and mega fans and see how they do. So the way this works is you're going to get 20 questions. You have longer than 2 minutes. You have as much time as you need. I encourage no stalling. No stalling.
You'll be reminded too.
I will remind you if you're stalling. Every other question is a Raiders question. So you have a total of 10 Raiders questions. And then you got 2 random questions thrown in there, which is quickly growing into a science category, it seems like. And then the remaining 8 questions are divided up into 2 sets of 4 that are in your wheelhouse. Now, you told me your wheelhouse was hip-hop and video games, and you said any era. I'm good with any era.
Listen, I'm ready. I've been thinking about what the hell you can ask me all week. I'm ready. I'm ready. Anything. Shoot, let's go.
All right, let's go. Oh, I forgot to mention, with that sound right there, also you have a daily double. One of these questions is worth 2 points, so a perfect score would be 21 out of 20. High score currently sits at 13 out of 20, set by one of our listeners, Raider Roo. Shout out to Raider Roo on Twitter.
Shout out Raider Roo.
And
shout out to him.
Beneath that,
I'm about to beat that. So.
Okay, all right. He's talking big. Let's go. Let's go. He sounds ready.
Oh,
all right, let's go.
Let's get started.
This is scary music that you can't hear, by the way, Obee.
Very tense right now. All right, question number 1. We'll start this off with the Raiders question. Again, every other question is going to be a Raiders question. By the way, we did not mention Maliik. He writes about a lot of things, but he is a Raiders fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is correct.
I try to be subjective, but I love the Raiders. Love them.
That is correct. All right, question number one. In 2005, this Raider led the team in tackles with 116.
Kirk. Let me think. Kirk. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
All right. Yes.
Kirk.
I don't know why I even thought about that, but yeah.
I need a last name.
Morrison.
There you go.
You're
on the board.
On the board. 1 from 1. 1 from 1. All right.
I don't even know why I thought about that. I got nervous.
Question number 2, and if you get this wrong, I'm going to take it personal. What is the name of Public Enemy's security detail? What is the name of Public Enemy's security detail?
All right, hold on. I'm thinking.
You're stalling.
There you go.
I'm not stalling. I'm stalling. Public Enemy. Shit. All right. Public Enemy. Professor Griff. Damn.
Progressor Griff was a member of the security detail, but I need the name of the security detail.
Public Enemy, Professor Griff, security detail. What the hell? It's on my tip of my tongue.
Progressor Griff and the
Damn it. Alright, I'm not getting nothing else wrong. Let's go.
Progressor Griff and the security of the First World, also known as the S1W.
Damn it.
Clear the way for the S1W. Should already know.
Alright, let's go.
All right, back to the Raiders. Who holds the record for the longest punt in Raiders history?
Longest punt or punt return?
Longest punt.
Ray Guy.
Ooh.
That is incorrect. It is Shane Leckler, 80 yards.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Your boy Leckler can kick, bro.
You like video
God damn.
games? You like video games, Malik?
I'm 1 for 3. Let's go. Yes, I love him.
All right. It's an easy one. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
In which world dash level, is the first warp tunnel located in the original Super Mario Brothers?
You got this.
I just played this shit the other day. The first warp tunnel was one. It was level 1-2.
There you go.
That is correct.
You fucking right.
Got the world and the level.
I'm sitting here pressing start in my mind.
I like that.
2 for 4. Let's go.
This next one is a Raiders question. The
right.
Super Bowl 11 MVP was who? Super Bowl
11 MVP. Freddie B.
There you go.
That is correct. You got 3 right. You got
Fred Biletnikoff. Let's go.
Yeah, you got 10 more to go. Now this should be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which legendary Memphis hip hop group won an Academy Award for Best Original Song in 2006?
3 6 Mafia. You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
There you go.
From the Hustle and Flow soundtrack.
There you go. You didn't have to give us all that, but you gave it all, man.
Unfortunately, that's not the Daily Double. You get no additional points.
It's 1 point.
It's all good.
But it's good knowledge, and we appreciate that. All right.
Let's go. I'm ready for these Raider questions now. I'm not getting any more wrong.
There you go.
Give me the Raiders' original color scheme. What was the original Raiders
all right,
color scheme?
I'm ready. It was black. It was black, white, and a trim of gold from the AFL.
There you go.
That's correct. You'd be surprised how many people get that wrong.
Yeah.
I know, man. I had an argument with this guy that was like 30 years older than me. He's telling me they've been silver and black forever. I'm like, dude, listen, no, it's not. You have a smartphone. Use it. It's not always been that color.
That's the problem. If he's 30 years older than you, he doesn't know how to use his smartphone.
Old and stubborn.
I really hope you're not on that smartphone right now, Malik, because that would really break my heart. This next one, this is near and dear to me. This is my favorite, possibly my favorite video game of all time.
Oh,
the replay factor is off the chain. I still play this game.
hell yeah.
Name 6. I need 6. And this is courtesy of Che. Che came with this question.
That's right.
Name 6 of Little Mac's opponents in the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I need 6.
All right, let's do it. All right, Piston Honda.
You go.
Don Flamenco.
Yep.
King Hippo.
Yep.
Can I say my Soda Popinski?
There you go.
Mr. Dream. Can I say Mr. Dream?
Oh,
I'm the one asking the questions here, Malik. You can say what you want.
Von Kaiser.
Okay.
With the mustache and the original. All right, how many is that?
That's 5.
5.
5. Okay. Sandman.
There you go. There you go.
We also would have accepted Mike Tyson, which for some reason you did not mention.
Mike Tyson. It's the obvious one, dog.
I'm glad you got that right. I'm also glad you didn't say Mr. Dream because, as Che pointed out, Mr. Dream
It's not on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
What happened to Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
On Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, well, we all know what happened with Mike Tyson, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But as soon as Mike Tyson did what he did, they got rid of Mike Tyson, and then all of a sudden there was a Mr. Dream.
Yeah, that was Robin Givens' new boyfriend.
Can I interject on that really quick?
Yeah.
Really found out that there was a sequel, not really a sequel, but there was another boxing game, and I'll think of the name and tweet it to you guys. It was another boxing game. I just actually watched it on YouTube. I was so bored one day. It was another boxing game where Tyson and Don King are literally in the game, and he's like beating everybody. And it was released, I would say, like right before the Buster Douglas fight, and he's beating everybody, and he has to go to like space to fight because he can't find anybody else. So he's like fighting aliens and shit.
That's dope.
And it's like the game is actually pretty good, but because of the charge that they took him out and like put some guy on there that looked just like him and took his licensing off of it. So yeah, it was just a little cool tidbit that I found. It's like Mike Tyson's intergalactic boxing or something like that on the NES.
The other day I blew Che's line because he didn't know Bill Laimbeer had his own basketball game. Bill Laimbeer's combat basketball.
Was it like arch rivals, bro? Was it like arch rivals? You could just punch motherfuckers in the face?
It was nothing like any game you've ever played. I think you could actually launch missiles at people. It went above and beyond fist fights.
That makes sense because Bill Laimbeer was unlike any other fucking NBA player you've ever seen.
And he was launching missiles.
I miss the days when all you had to do was average like 12 points a game and then you got a video game. Like if you did anything like remotely above average, you got a video game. Like Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas and Buster Douglas had a video game like
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, let's keep it moving. In what year was the Oakland Raiders franchise founded? Easy question.
Founded was 1960. 60. Wait. 61. Al Davis wasn't there. 60. It was 60.
There you go.
That was a close one. That is correct.
Man. You had us sweating over here. We thought you were going to get it wrong.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hard.
That's on the show every week, by the way, so I'm glad you got that. Here's your first random question of the night.
All right, let's do it.
Which constellation appears on Australia's flag?
What? Constellation. Jesus Christ.
He's got 6 in a row so far. Jim.
Yeah, man. You just fucked up his mojo, dog.
All right, let me think. All right. Wait, give me 2 seconds. Australian flag. It has like the line down the middle, line across, the X behind it. Australia. Yeah, Australia. It's like an X and a cross in front of it. And it has some stars. How many stars? I don't know how many stars. I know it has stars on there.
I need the name
take the L on this question.
of the constellation.
The Star of David. I don't know.
Not a lot
I have
of
no clue.
Not a lot of.
Listen, I'll take that L. I will take that L. I'm playing this game honest and fair. You just threw me for a loop because I felt like I was on a roll. Like, and I don't know where the hell you got that credit from.
You were on a roll, but now you're on a Kaiser bun. Yes, Star David incorrect. Although Australia is a Jewish Mecca, we all know that. For some reason, Star David not on their flag.
Hey, you gotta give him the right answer though.
The right answer is the Southern Cross.
There you go. Now you know, dog.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Next question. Back to the Raiders. Who played
All right, let's do it.
a club record 210 consecutive games for the Silver and Black?
Damn.
This is it.
Shout out to Dapper Dan.
All right, I got two. Wait, I got two answers in my mind, but I think I'm gonna go with my gut. I feel like I'm 100% right on it. Ben Autumn.
Bam!
That is correct.
Bam!
Your gut serving you well.
Oh man, that was tough.
Next question.
I was
Formerly,
gonna say Jim Otto or Gene Upshaw, but I was just like, let me go with Otto.
There you go. Go with your gut, though.
okay. Formerly known as What, this Brooklyn-born female rapper has since gained underground notoriety under what alias?
Brooklyn born.
Formerly known as What, this native-born Brooklyn female rapper has since gained notoriety under what alias?
She was formerly known as what?
That's right.
What?
What?
Oh, what the hell? Oh man. All right, can I get a lifeline?
No.
Like,
No.
Can I ask what decade?
I'm asking the questions, Malik. And I believe you're stalling. I believe you're stalling.
All right, no stalling. I'm gonna answer immediately. Can you repeat the question one more time?
This is kind of like a fucking spelling bee right now. This is a spelling bee championship right here.
This sounds like somebody's waiting for Google to load up.
Listen, I'm gonna just jump out there and say Lil' Kim. I have no damn clue.
That is incorrect. Correct answer is
What?
Jean Grey. Her name is Jean Grey.
Wow.
She's pretty dope.
Wow. If you would have said like which Brooklyn rapper loved comics, I swear I would have said Jean Grey.
Yeah. And
What just threw me for a loop. I was like, what?
And if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. That's not the world we're living in.
Alright, let's do it. Come on.
Who holds the Raiders' team record for 1,408 receiving yards in a single season?
Tim Brown.
You're fucking right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, Tim Brown is like, I think that's the most Raider by far, and like since he came in the league, right? Like it's not even close.
Yep.
No, not
Like
even
I
close.
mean, in terms of like close to it, I mean, has anybody gotten over 1,200 yards since then? I don't know.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. Next question. Released in 1992, this PC title is credited as being the first-person shooter ever.
Oh.
Doom.
Uh-oh.
Is that your final answer?
1992. That sounds about right. PC. Yeah, I'm going with Doom.
That is incorrect. Castle Wolfenstein.
Damn.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, don't be
when
mad.
the hell did Doom?
I said Doom 2, dog. I said Doom 2, man.
Dog, what the fuck? When did Doom come out then?
About a year later.
Ain't that about a bitch, man?
So,
I'm thinking
go ahead.
Old ass graphics and a white mouse and everything, like one of those old ass floppy disk computers. 1982. Doom was the first thing that came to my mind.
That's right. Somebody
Damn
on the
it.
chat said James Bond, and that's not a PC title. So you're doing okay. All right. So you got 9 right so far. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left.
Uh-oh.
You could potentially run the table here and set the bar at 15, which would be incredible. It'll earn you a You're Stalling t-shirt from DC40 Custom
That's
Tees.
fucking, you're goddamn right.
So let's keep it moving.
all right, let's go.
This
Next question is Raiders question, right?
That's
right.
That's right.
All right, let's go.
This Raiders QB holds the team record for most career completions at 1,759.
Derek Carr.
Bam.
That is correct. Put him on the board, Shay.
There you go.
That is correct.
Let's go. I knew that one.
In 1988, this DC go-go rap group released their hit single, "Da Butt." What?
Experience Unlimited, EU, and
Damn.
it was used in the movie. It was used in the movie School Days.
You're goddamn right.
With George Clinton, by
There
the way.
you go.
George Clinton.
There you go.
Doing the
Yep.
butt.
Sexy.
Is that a daily double question?
No, that was not a double.
No, it
question.
wasn't.
It's coming up, though. It's coming up. How many years did the Raiders play in Los Angeles? How many seasons?
Okay. All right. So they left. All right. Came back in '94. Left. 82. Was that 82? 12 years. 82, 94. 12 years. Yeah.
That is incorrect. 14
Wait,
years.
what?
14 years. Yeah.
92. God damn it. Damn. Damn it.
Back to video games.
Here we go.
The Madden franchise has long been known for some of the players that have graced its cover. Who was on the cover of the very first installment of John Madden Football?
John Madden.
Yeah.
That is correct.
You're damn right.
When you said John, I knew I had it.
Absolutely.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. He's got 12.
Ooh.
With 2 to go. And this next one.
The daily double.
There it is.
I bet. Let's do it. I need this one.
This question's worth 2 points, Malik. Name the all-time sack leader for the Raiders. Bonus point if you can tell me how many sacks he's tallied.
The number of sacks. I know it's Greg Townsend.
That is correct.
There you go.
100 and... All right, wait. So I got that 1 point.
Yep.
If I get this right, all right. It's 106.
Oh.
So close.
Damn.
It's 107.5.
Oh my God. Even if I would have said 107, I wouldn't have said the 0.5.
That's why it's a daily double.
Damn it.
Hey, but the good news is you're tied. You're tied for the record, yes?
Yes, tied. He's at 13.
Tied at 13, dog.
With 1 to go, you can set the record all by yourself right here.
Woo!
It's a final question.
Let me be clutch. Here we go.
This is a random question.
Oh, shit.
But it's been on the show before, so if you listen to our show, you might know this question.
I have.
What is the fear of the color silver known as? It is a phobia of the color silver. It's known as what?
Wait.
You're stalling.
Wait.
You're stalling.
The fear of the color silver?
Yep.
That's correct.
Wait a second. Public enemy. It is a wait. The fear of a color silver. A fear of a black planet.
Is that your final
That
answer?
sounds so damn crazy, but I feel like this has something to do with that damn public enemy question.
Sorry, that is incorrect. I am a man all twisted up right there. The fear of the color silver is known as chromophobia.
What? Oh wow, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I would have never thought of that, but that's so cool.
Hey man, but we gotta give Maliik that round of applause, man, because he tied the all-time record with 13.
That's strong. Is that
That's
good?
strong. He came strong,
pissed.
dog.
Is that good enough for a T-shirt?
It's good enough for a fucking T-shirt. Goddamn
no,
right.
I don't want a damn consolation prize. I want to win.
Hey, only
I
chance
don't
to
like
get the T-shirt.
participation trophies.
Okay.
I don't like participation.
Okay.
I'm coming back, and I want to play the damn game again. So make up 20 questions. I'm coming back.
All right, Maliik, you better come back because
That's right.
We enjoyed having you on, man. This was good. No,
Yeah.
We have to talk after the draft, after everything goes down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have to talk about what happened because then we're going to have 4 months to talk about how this player or that player is or isn't going to make the team and do good for his team and how smart or how stupid John Gruden is. Because, we see, there's like never anybody in Raiders Twitter or Raiders fan base that's even killed. I want to say something. The Raiders are one of the most renowned fan bases in any sport. I think that goes without saying.
It's not even a question. But the Raiders fan base is hilarious. The men, the women, young, old. It is a very hostile fan base. It's a very loyal but hostile fan base.
Yep.
It's like, shut the fuck up. You don't know anything. Derek Carr is a fucking genius. Or it's like, you fucking bastard. You piece of shit, Derek Carr. It's like, you got fans that's like, they're ready to, their fans will die for you. Like, if Rodney Hudson broke down in the middle of the highway and people saw his bald head and realized it was him, they're going to push his car to the gas station. But
they'll push his car to Oakland, dog.
Yeah, at the same time, you got fans that were like ready to try to fight Donald Penn. I love this fan base.
Hey.
It's like Donald Penn outweighed that guy by like 200 pounds, and he started and shit with him. It's like, you gotta love this fan base, man. And that's the thing that I love about this fan base, and that's why I feel this draft is so important. The Raiders fan base, I don't care if you're from Oakland, I don't care if you're from LA, I don't care if you're from Albany, wherever. The Raiders fan base is so strong, and it has been so strong, and so many people are devoted to the Raiders for so many reasons. The Raiders have taken so many strides in terms of advancing the game, in terms of advancing sports, in terms of integration, in terms of taking chances, especially the late Al Davis, that goes without saying. And then it's like, there's so many things that are cool about the Raiders, like the color scheme, you know, everything that, you know, the nuance of the black. It's like, it's scary, it's demanding, it's like, it's head turning. Everything about the Raiders is just, the mystique is cool, you know? So I feel like that fans that you guys and guys born way before all of us, they deserve to, you know, feel some type of joy that a lot of these other teams have felt. And I feel like that this is the perfect time to start that, you know, like Vegas is coming up, man. Like, all jokes aside, seriously, like Vegas is coming up, and this is the third move for this team in 25 years. Well, second move for this team in 25 years, but the third move for this team realistically in less than 40 years. So it's like, this fan base has had nothing really to show for it in terms of this century, at the very least, you know, and it's and for the franchise to have done what it's done in so many ways, that the fans deserve something to be proud of. You know, it's been a long time that the Raiders have been a laughingstock. You can debate on that if you want, but overall, compared to what the Raiders were, like, if you really think about it, the Raiders, it's really, really ridiculous to think that the Raiders are still one of the most winningest franchises in the NFL, and there's been more bad seasons than good, at least over the last 20 years, right? But it's like, that was what the Raiders were. They established something so great in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and even the very early 90s. And like, now it's like, over the last 25, 26 years, I would love for the Raiders fan base to have something to be proud of. And that gives the writers something to be proud of. That gives everyone something to be proud of. You know, think about it, you know, the people that are going into work, like the people, you know, the everyday hardworking people that are going to work at the Oakland Coliseum, you know, that are, you know, everyday people of Oakland and surrounding the Bay Area and everything, you know, they deserve to have a parade too, you know, to bring their kids to, you know, say, you know, take your child to work day type thing. And it's like, everybody that, you know, is loyal to a fan base of this nature, of this history, deserves to have something to be proud of. And I think that so many people are negative because they've seen so much. Like, if we really think about it, like, this is a getaway for a lot of people from their everyday lives. And people are investing. This is an investment. It's a financial investment. It's obviously an emotional investment. And people are really invested in this team and have been for a long time. So, you know, do you have people like us who, you know, sit here and, you know, go tit for tat and, you know, like, really dissect this team, you know, everything about it. And we love doing it, you know, and there's people that love this stuff. They love wearing their Raiders gear. They love it. Everybody deserves to have something to be proud of. You know, as a writer, you say, hey, I have a team that I'm covering that I enjoy going to the games, because at the end of the day, as a writer, you get that press pass and everything. You enjoy it. It's a privilege. You know, you pay for it as a kid. Your mom, your dad, whatever, you pay for it. And it's a privilege for you to have the opportunity to cover this stuff. You know, so when you got a good team, you got something to look forward to every Sunday, Monday, Thursday. You know, you got damn games damn near every day of the week. But in short, you know, just closing out with that, it's like, all jokes aside, you know, we make jokes and everything about Gruden or whatever, but I think that he is on to something, and I will give him the benefit of the doubt, obviously. And there's been so many people that have been given the benefit of the doubt and haven't taken the precautions to say, hey, I want to make this team better, and they haven't done it right. So I'm very interested, to say the least, in what Gruden will do this year and going forward, because it all starts it really starts on April 25th, but it starts if you know, we can have a trade in principle tomorrow or whatever. So this is the most excited I've been about going into an off season, you know, like really getting into it for the Raiders in a very, very long time. And
you're going to be out there at the draft again this year, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man.
That's going to be exciting, man. You said earlier, like, this time of the year is a frustrating time. Look, you already know, and you touched on it right now. As a Raiders fan, the draft is frustrating 12 months a year. It's 3 months of us bitching about who we're going to take and 9 months of us bitching about who we should have taken. So
yes, that's a perfect way to put it. Wow, that's a great way to put it. Like,
so,
man, I will. Yeah. Can I just share a quick story? I will never forget the day that I was sitting, you know, watching the 2007 draft, and the look on Michael Crabtree's face when the Raiders took Darius Hayward-Bay, like if he could have saw how I looked, like I couldn't believe that. And mind you, like I've grown up where the University of Maryland is 10 minutes from my house. Like even as a kid, I grew up watching Darius Hayward-Bay, and that was one of my first real moments where I said, hey, I can really learn this football stuff, because I figured out at that time that Darius Hayward-Bay was literally just fast. So watching Michael Crabtree, and, you know, I had NCAA football 06 and all that stuff, I was like, man, this is the guy I want. You know, and it was so apparent, and it didn't happen. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? That statement you just made just took me back to that moment. And there's been so many of those moments for Raiders, man.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Maliik, man, it was awesome having you on. You're welcome on here anytime you'd like, and we look forward to talking to you after the draft. You be safe out there, brother.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, listen, I thank you guys for having me on. Like really. And I'm kind of frustrated, man. I don't feel right. I won't feel right. I know you're going to have other guests and everything, so I'll be upset if somebody gets to that 13 and ties me, because then it's like, oh, whatever. Like I have to come back on and get to at least like 17. Like
I think your tied record is safe for now.
Yeah.
This has been hell for many people. Look, Austin Gale got on here. He got 6 right.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Oh man, Austin's a smart dude. What the hell happened to him?
He's a smart dude. He's a smart dude. So be proud of that, and we will definitely have you on to defend your title. And we're gonna have to give Raider Rue another shot at that too. But right now he's the defending champion. So you got to beat the champ. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. So we'll give you first crack at that redo, and then he's gonna come on and get a chance to defend.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go brush up on my damn Public Enemy and everything.
please. That's my favorite group of all time. So.
Again, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And, you know, I would definitely make sure that as many Raiders fans hear this as possible. And like I said, man, thank you for having me on. And I will definitely be back.
Appreciate you, brother.
Man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, man. Get some sleep.
Yes, it's late as hell over the East Coast.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Peace.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, that was a monster. That was like an hour-long interview right there.
It was good though, man.
Great.
Can't complain about that, right?
Yeah, I think we found a new reoccurring guest, man.
Hell yeah, right?
Maliik's family now.
You know, he's gonna keep wanting to come back. He's gonna up that record. He wants to up that record, dog.
I don't see Cain on the chat, but we're gonna give him a call here during the break. Anyways, we talked to him earlier. I know he's planning to come on.
Yeah,
maybe getting his notes together, getting his yellow notebook paper.
There you go.
All of his pages in order. So. You know, Cain keeps it old school. So hopefully we come back on here, have Cain's Corner, and we'll get to your callers. Actually, what we didn't talk about with Maliik and went really long is we had put out a poll earlier in the week, so we put that out to our callers too. So
That's right.
we'll be talking about that as well. And I think it's a good question to pose to Cain as well. So we'll come back, all that and more. The first half of the show is over. We'll see you guys on the other side. We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders. And we're back from the break with Cain's Corner every week, brought to you by NFLShop.com. Go ahead and click through the banner on PJ4F.com. Get yourself a nice crispy jersey. Maybe you want to wait for the draft. Maybe you want to get yourself a Raiders legend jersey. But do so.
This is a safe bet.
Do so. If you do, make sure you click through our site so we get a little piece of the pie. That's right. That's right, Che. In fact, I don't have many notes. But we did run a poll throughout the week. We were going to talk about with Maliik, but it went on a bit long. So if you don't mind, Cain, I'd like to start off your segment actually with this poll because it's a nice segue.
Hell yeah.
Talking about Raiders legends, Raiders Hall of Famers. I asked our followers this week. We had 4 positions of need. Arguably, we have more, but 4 positions of need: tight end, wide receiver, linebacker, and what else have I got on there?
Defensive end.
Yeah, defensive end. Yeah.
That's got to be on there.
Yeah, so we have Dave Casper, Tim Brown, Howie Long, or Ted Hendricks. Which of these guys would you sign if they were in their prime today, and why? Our listeners, by a whopping 61% of the votes, I got about 500 votes, by the way. Howie Long won out with 61% of the votes, and Tim Brown second at 28%. And Ted Hendricks only got 9%, and Dave Casper with 2% of those votes. Cain, who would you take in their prime to plug in and fill one of those holes?
Oh man, that's a good question. So many holes to fill right now. But right now, I'd have to go with the rest of the crowd and say Howie Long. Absolutely, by far, Howie Long. One of the best defensive. Yeah. Howie Long is. Hands down, right now.
Definitely,
with the way the team, is strict on what we need. Howie Long would be the player.
I mean, he would definitely solve that pass rush issue, right?
Absolutely.
Che, who would you take on that list? You're a Howie Long guy too, right?
I mean, I love Howie. Don't get me wrong, but I took Timmy, bro. I took Timmy because Timmy's arguably the most productive Raider that we've ever had in our history, and he did it with so many shitty quarterbacks. He's the one guy that's dependent on somebody else to help him produce.
Yeah.
Right? So when you look at Timmy's numbers, I mean, you can make an argument, and Raider fans do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
You can make an argument that he would have been in the vicinity of a Jerry Rice had he had the quarterbacks that said Jerry Rice had.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. And looking at Derek Carr now and the type of quarterback he is and the amount of rack that Tim Brown was capable of producing.
And you made the point when I told you that earlier in the week. You said, and special teams, dog.
Yeah, and special teams.
Because Timmy will take it to the house on your ass.
In his prime now. So
and he started off really primarily as the special team. I mean, when he came in the league, he primarily was they punt return.
Yep.
So
started with the
you
splash.
got a point there, Che.
Yeah. So you took Tim Brown. Cain's going to take Howie Long. Howie Long was my guy, but I'm going to go ahead and pick a third guy you guys haven't picked yet, and I'm going to say Ted Hendricks. Just the fact that we haven't had a linebacker playmaker in so long, and Ted can do it all from that position. I would take Ted Hendricks. Is he up to speed as a linebacker in today's era? No, but we're going to go ahead and say he is. And I'm going to take Ted Hendricks, but to round that out. But Casper kind of getting the short end of the stick there. But definitely, not for any reason of his play. I think
he's a legend for a reason.
He's a legend for a reason.
No, I actually thought about Casper. I actually thought about saying Casper, but we got Jared Cook.
Yeah.
Even if right, you asked right now.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at the positions as to what was the position most in need.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, although Tim Brown is probably the best, Mr. Raider other than Jim Otto,
yeah,
we need a defensive end, I think, more so than we need a wide receiver right now. We lacked in sacks. Our defense has been even with Khalil Mack, our defense wasn't even in the lower bottoms of the NFL. It was in the I would say higher, but lower than the 20s to the 30s.
Yeah.
So even with a Khalil Mack, the defense sucked. So I'm gonna say right now we in need of some defensive players, and Howie Long might not be able to help this defense right now.
Wow.
By himself. Khalil Mack couldn't help it.
Yeah.
So
and that's again, that's a commentary on this defense, not Howie Long. That's where we're at, right? And you're right about Jared Cook. Right now, 2019 season hasn't started yet. Jared Cook is technically still on the roster, so I'm not going to argue with any of our picks. I think all of them would help out, but Cain makes a good point. I mean, if Matt couldn't do it by himself, even the great Howie Long would have a challenge ahead of him.
It's true.
He had some talent to the left and to the right as well. So.
Yeah, man. He had madmen next to him, man.
Yeah.
He had Lyle
Townsend
Alzado,
is
bro.
who he had. Townsend is mainly
Yeah.
who he flourished with.
Yeah.
With Greg Townsend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to have another good defensive tackle. You guys know the formula. It is what it is, and we just don't have that formula right now. We got pieces and parts of it, but we don't have it to where we could say, can one player come in here and solidify or make anything better? Right now, we need a bunch of people, a bunch of players. One could not help this defense or offense for that, or special teams for that matter.
Yeah.
So we're in a position where we need a lot of people.
Speaking of filling needs, the NFL draft and free agency is on the horizon. The combine just happened this weekend. So you had some thoughts about the combine and how much of an impact it has nowadays. The combine has become a big event. Prior, it wasn't. Just, I'd say just maybe 10 years ago, we weren't really talking about the combine. Now it's all the rage. So guys, the combine can make or break a player. Cain, what are your thoughts on that? You wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to say, you get players that do well working out, and they all of a sudden jump draft boards over the players that's been productive in their college years, and
right.
And that's had success in college. You get players, say for instance, not saying that he's not, and I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I'm just saying nobody said DK Metcalf, because I'm gonna bring this name because this is what's been floating throughout Twitter since the combine. That DK Metcalf is not worthy of a top 5 pick. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you see how just out of nowhere people just all of a sudden now let's just pick DK Metcalf at number 4.
Yeah.
I mean we ain't said nothing about DK Metcalf being a top 5 pick. Nowhere, even throughout the college football season, had I even heard anything. But now all of a sudden, since he run a 4.33 or 4.34 40, he's a top 5 pick. No, you guys, Raider fans, you know better than that. Come on, look, DHB. I mean, just think of all the players that had speed that we drafted on that merit. They did not work out. So let's just be careful about looking at the Underwear Olympics and then making players just jump draft boards. Let's stick with what we know and what we saw, what you saw on film, what you've been watching all college. If you watch college football, stick with that. Just because somebody did good when they're working out doesn't mean that that's going to translate onto the football field in the NFL. It doesn't make any sense.
So, like another good example, kind of in the Raiders' wheelhouse, is a guy like Obi Melifonwu.
Right.
Tore it up at the combine. Ended up going in the second round. Not a first-round pick, but going in the second round. Much was made about him, getting the eject from the Raiders, going to the Patriots. People were like, oh, watch, the Patriots going to figure out how to use him. Super Bowl, not even activated. He didn't see the field in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And, this guy's career started off really, I'm not saying people weren't watching him in college, but the combine really, really put him in the conversation, right?
Absolutely.
So, again, just to kind of further illustrate your point, Cain, in terms of Raider Nation might be already familiar with is a guy like Obee, who ended up on this roster, based on that freak athleticism that he showed.
Yep.
So, yeah, the combine.
I'll give you another name. I'll give you another name that might shock you. Javon Curse, the freak. Never really panned out. Just was okay, but never really, really just was a Khalil Mack or a Lawrence Taylor, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Was never that person, but was touted. Oh, after the combine, oh man, he's a freak. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And then you draft him early, and look, he goes from team to team, and it just doesn't work like that. There's a history of players that you can go through. I mean, we can sit here all night long and name players that jumped draft boards that did not work out because you jumped because they look good in the combine.
Yeah,
Javon
Curse at his peak was a problem, but it was a really short window, and the downside of his career started early, and he disappeared on that side of his career. So, yeah, another good example right there. So we've been talking, and you were in studio last week, by the way. That was a great show. We enjoyed having you. How was your ride home last week, man? You got out of here late.
Yep.
How was your ride home, man?
Very sleepy. Put it like that. A lot of rear view mirror watching because I was sleepy and wasn't sure while I was driving right. And then I had some beers too. And yeah, man, them wings. I was feeling good. I could have went to sleep after the show was over. Personally, with my old ass, you know what I'm saying. But the drive home was okay.
We appreciate that, man. We know it ain't a short drive, and it's a big sacrifice you make to come out here. But it does make the show better, and it's always good to see you in person. Any chance I get to cook for Cain, I'm going to take it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man, the wings. And, again, let me say, the wings, the wings is good, bro. You got me looking at the air fryers.
Yeah.
You got me looking at air fryers, bro. And I got to say, all of y'all out there, chicken wings in the air fryer, don't sleep on it. If you ain't tried it, don't sleep on it.
Mess free, man. Mess free. Yeah, get yourself a name brand one. I got that off brand bitch, and it works well, but it's showing signs of wear and tear already. But I do make wings at least once a week, so maybe I'm just overusing that thing. I got to find another use for it.
It's putting work in, dog.
Yeah.
It's putting work in.
But for wings itself, it's already paid for itself because I go to Wingstop a little bit less.
That's right.
So, Cain, we've talked a lot about, again, you were here last week. We talked about the first round. We all gave our picks, assuming the Raiders keep all three of them. Now, you had mentioned earlier today, you have a scenario where you trade out of one of those picks. Talk about that. What pick are you trading out of? Who are you trading with? What are you getting in return? What's that scenario look like in Cain's corner?
Yeah, and I apologize to the fans out here for not having my notes properly correct right now. But I want to say that the Raiders can trade back into. I want to start with the 15th pick. If you want to go back far, because I've been doing a little Twitter versing, and I think I let Twitter get to me this week over this combine shit. But if we because there's a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there's a few people out here saying that there's no players that fit Paul Gunther defensively that fit Paul Gunther's scheme in the top. I want to say 10. And this is just what I've been. You can check my Twitter feed. It's on there. And so I'm just saying, if that's the case, if that's a scenario, and we trade back, I forgot who has the 15th pick. It's a quarterback needy team. I know that for sure. I think it's Buffalo or it just doesn't come to mind right now. But anyway, we trade back to the 15th spot and then pick that player with that pick with the number 4 pick. The other 2 picks, I'm not so sure after just seeing how everything panned out with the combine and players and just looking at the draft overall, I'm not so sure we keep that 24 and 27 pick. We don't necessarily have to. It's close to the second round. There are now, after the top, I want to say 15 players, everybody's just jumbled in. It's kind of like you could either get a boom or a bust player. You just don't know. Everybody's they're just there. There's nobody that exceeds that height or that's like, ooh, I got to have this person at this part of the round. It's just, there's a lot of players here, and I can pick one of them, and I don't know, I might get a good guy or I might get a bad guy. So with that being said, 24 and 27 may not be that important to the Raiders. They might want to trade those picks and trade back into the second round and pick up 2 or 3 more day 2 picks and not necessarily have those 3 first-round picks. That's a scenario that I thought about today.
Yeah.
And it could happen. It could happen.
It definitely can. That team at 15, I just looked it up for you. It's the Redskins. Also, QB hungry, right? Alex Smith ain't going to be around for much longer. And, looking at that, you're right. And we talked about this a bit last week. There's a lot of talent or, supposed talent in this draft. And in that first round, you got 32 teams picking. There's more than 32 qualified players, I feel like, in the first round in this draft. You're going to get a couple surprise guys. You're going to get a couple teams reaching for quarterbacks. You're going to get more than a handful of teams drafting for need. And you're going to see best player available slide. We saw it last year. We saw Derwin James slide right by us, right? You saw Denzel Ward go. Was it Denzel Ward that fell a little bit further? I know it was.
He jumped draft boards.
Yeah.
He's another guy but he deserved it, though. But, yeah, he did jump.
Yeah,
draft boards.
So you're going to see a lot of movement come this draft in April, and don't be shocked. There's going to be talent there in the second round. So an alternative approach to it, Cain's giving you right there, is trade back and pick up collateral in the second round, a round that we haven't done well in, but I feel like we're poised to now do well. We, all due respect to Reggie McKenzie, but them project picks in the second and third round, that should be a thing of yesterday,
right?
Gone tomorrow, and actually getting some real bona fide picks there in the second and third round, because you'd be surprised at how much talent hangs around there. And again, the combine helping and hurting players that should or should not be helped or hurt. It definitely affects things. Let's just hope that Mayock and Gruden have their plan locked in. They're not getting distracted by the Twitterverse like all of us are. All of us are prone to do, and they stay locked in and stay focused right there. So, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I'm waiting to see how it all shakes out, because this draft, not only is there potential opportunity for us to fill a lot of holes, it's really going to set the table for what we should expect moving forward in this new Gruden Mayock era.
Yep.
I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit excited. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
You should be.
Let me throw a curveball at you, Cain, because it happened to us last year, and it could happen to us again this year. The Raiders, let's say the Raiders stay on the board at 4. What pick pisses you off the most at number 4? Is it Rashawn Gary?
What?
Is it DK Metcalf?
I'm about to get flushed down. No. You know what pick pisses me off at number 4, and I don't care. Hit me up, Twitter. I don't want Quentin Williams. Even though he's good, he's probably the best defensive tackle in the draft. And I ain't saying he ain't worth being picked at number 4. If we listen to John Gruden and we listen to coaches speak or whatever, we try to decipher shit by listening to that. What did they tell you last year? We didn't draft a safety because why? Because we drafted 2 safeties in the Okay, so why would we draft a defensive tackle when we drafted 2 defensive tackles? We've been drafting defensive tackles in the first and second round for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So prior to them even coming here. So if you listen to that and you go off that philosophy, then we're not drafting Quentin Williams if you're listening to that philosophy. So in my opinion, I would like to see a defensive end or a linebacker. I think we can roll with the defensive tackles we got right now and get enough production with Hurst, Hall, Vanderdoes, Hankins, Jelly. You got a fairly good rotation right now. Yes, Quentin Williams would kick that up a notch. I'm not saying he wouldn't, but we need a defensive end to take the pressure off of Arden Key right now. Arden Key is playing too many downs. He shouldn't be in on run situations, and you need somebody that can play on the that can book in Arden Key so that that takes the pressure off of him. And yes, Quentin Williams is good, great, and probably will be a Hall of Fame player. I'm not saying he won't. Just I don't think that that's a priority for the Raiders defensive staff to go with right now. I think we need to go, like I said, linebacker, defensive end, Josh Allen, Clelin Ferrell if he's there, Nick Bosa, one of these guys.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah, so right on the strength of Mo Hurst, coach up PJ Hall, plug in a couple more bodies there and get him somebody to complement on the edge and possibly linebacker. That's what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. Get some complementary pieces around them. Yeah. Again,
we need a defensive end and a linebacker in the first round. I mean, we need to keep those 3 first-round picks, at least 2 of them, and go defensive end, linebacker, or linebacker, defensive end. If you guys don't like Rashawn Gary, if he's there at 24, take him, and then go. If you want to go Josh Allen with the number 4 pick, because look here, fellas, it can go this way. There are 2, 3, maybe 4 quarterback-hungry teams out there right now that are not in the top 5 that would like to be in that top 5. So you got what? Arizona can trade, the Jets can trade, the Raiders can trade, the Niners can. Every team in the top 5 can say, I don't need a quarterback, and if you want it, come up here and get my pick. What you got for me?
Right.
And if that happens, then that can change the whole complexity of the top 5 picks. Yeah. So. Like I said, we need a defensive end. You can get a defensive tackle later on in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, starting at 15, you got the Redskins, you got the Dolphins. Don't rule out the Packers in search for a quarterback. Maybe not this year, but I'm just saying they did pick up Aaron Rodgers when they had Brett Favre, so end of his career as well. You got the Cincinnati Bengals at 11. They might be wanting to move up there. The Bills at 9. Trade back to 9. You're still sitting pretty at 9. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who looks like they're signing Nick Foles, though, right?
Yeah.
And then Arizona may want to stay put. They may want to take Murray. It looks like they're indicating they want to take Murray. But then you got the Giants at 6, right? Eli Manning's got one more year. They got a plan for the future. So, and you got the Buccaneers right there at 5, right behind us. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams right there, Cain, that could move up, that might want to move up. We'll see how thirsty they are. That QB thirst list, as the ladies of darkness like to talk about. So, we'll see.
We're going to be watching pro days very closely here. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're right. Pro days coming up. I know, by the way, our guest Maliik, he just tweeted out the pro day schedule. So if you're not following him, OB1 on Twitter, make sure you follow him because he's going to give you some nice information, and he's going to be out there at the draft giving you updates too. So, pro days are big, right? Those are, dare I say, more important than the combine, right? I mean, you got
absolutely
right. You kind of get to kick the tires at the combine, but the pro day, that's the test drive. Mm-hmm. All right.
That's where the players really go out, where they, and if you look at a lot of them, especially the quarterbacks, they say, "Hey, I'm good. Come to my pro day. I'll do all the little workout shit, but I'm not throwing." Mm-hmm. That's why I say, Haskins and Murray, they pro days. It's going to be a lot of eyes.
Yeah,
like Tupac's album, All Eyes on Me. It's gonna be a lot of all eyes on them guys.
Yeah,
So
well, Murray didn't perform though, right? He just went, he did the measurables, and that was it. Like he just fucking sat to the side at the combine, right? So I don't, I guess the pro days will be the final call, right? Whether or not this motherfucker is the guy that everybody says he is and goes number 1, right? But I think as far as Haskins go, He showed out. Yeah. He showed out. He showed what he could do. So I think people got a pretty good idea of where they want to pick that guy.
Yeah. Haskins had a nice little combine for himself.
He's a top 5 pick right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The QB list this draft is very short, but it's not going to stop teams from being thirsty. Every year, the draft, teams look at it as a time to fill that QB hole, the most important position on the roster. People like to argue. So. They're going to get thirsty, and they're going to get hungry, and they're going to move up there.
So, quick question to you, Cain. What do you think the reasoning is for fucking Murray to hold off on any performances, and hold out to his pro day? I'm thinking...
Good question.
I'm thinking it has to do with familiarity, right? If you're out there throwing a bunch of fucking random receivers, you're probably going to fucking have some off passes. You're probably not going to be accurate and shit like that. You see it all the time in the combine.
Right.
But what do you think it is? What do you think the reasoning is behind that?
You know what? I got to agree with you. I think it's familiarity. I think it's that they feel comfortable at home. They feel comfortable throwing to their guys on their field, their coaching staff, their equipment guys. They whole get up is at home, just like you feel good just sitting down on your couch watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Over anybody else's house.
Just how we feel good in the Coliseum.
Exactly. So these guys, you know, they get out there and they like, you know what? I don't even want to go out here and make any kind of mistakes with somebody that I haven't been throwing to all year, you know, or I haven't been coached by all year or whatever, you know. So you're right. I believe that's familiarity, totally familiarity.
Another odd chapter in the Kyler Murray offseason, right? Starts off, is he going to play football or baseball? He's going to play baseball. No, wait, he's going to play football.
Right.
No, wait, he's undersized for that position. Oh, he put on weight. Oh, but let's look at his skill set. But does that transfer at his size? He put on weight, but he didn't get any taller.
Right.
Now he sits out the combine. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. It could be that the weight that he gained, you know, it takes an adjustment. You see?
Hey, well, my question is this. How many fucking burritos does that guy eat before the combine weigh-in, dude?
All of them. Every single one.
That motherfucker was scarfing down burritos. He's like, I ain't about to run no goddamn 40 right now, dog. I just ate like 10 burritos to get up to 210, dog.
What, he 5'10", 220? What was he, 5'10", 220?
I don't know if he was 220. Man. I think they put him at like 207, 210, something like that.
That's a lot of lunch pail burritos.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard, but I might be wrong.
That's a lot of lunch pail burritos. There's a difference between the California burrito, the Mission style, and the lunch pail burrito. A lot of people see like a burrito and they're
La lonchera.
Yeah, they're like, what is that? That thing's tiny. I'm like, well, no, that's a burrito. It's a wrap to take with you.
Shit!
Oh man, that's a good one.
So that's a lot of burritos.
But you know what though? Honestly, this guy is going to go top 5. Somebody's going to trade up. Arizona might do the thing that we all think that I think that they're going to do, and that's draft him. I honestly think Arizona is going to. Dude can't pass. Homeboy, the coach of Arizona, he can't pass up.
Man.
Excuse me, he's not going to be able to pass. No, I don't. I just don't think so.
Yep.
Not when you tying your job to success from your quarterback, and you don't like what they have. What Rosen right now or Allen?
Rosen.
They got
Rosen.
There you go. Yeah. So I don't think right now that coaching staff in Arizona has much faith in the guy.
And they drafted him last year or the year before?
Last year, dog.
Damn, man.
Last year.
Damn.
Josh Rosen, and then in Buffalo, you got Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
That was drafted last year too.
Yeah.
He showed some things, but not passing. He showed more running than passing.
If your name's Josh, you're whack in the NFL right now.
Well, I mean, he didn't have no offensive line, so he was running for his life.
This is true.
You know, in Buffalo, but he still did. He's a flash. He did flash, and he did show Buffalo. Maybe we might stick with you for a couple, at least one or two. You drafting these guys, you got to give them more than one season. Yeah. So, you know, that's what shocks me about the fact that Arizona might really do the unthinkable and take this guy after they just drafted a quarterback last year.
Yeah,
you know. So we'll see.
We shall see. We shall see. What did you do this weekend, man? Did you have a good weekend? Did you play? You stay chill?
I did, man. I didn't do shit, man. I just chilled, man.
That's good.
No big weekends here, man. Those is over with. I'm just chilling right now. It's winter time and just trying to kick it through this winter.
Yeah,
that's about it. This rain, I'm getting sick of this freaking rain, dude. You know, we've never had so much rain in the last 15 years that it's starting to become a problem. Even though I need it, even though we know we need it, it's just when you got to work in it, man, it's a problem.
Yeah,
you know?
Reservoirs are at 50% right now in California. There's a lot more ready to come. We had a real wet spring last year. That storm last spring was crazy.
Well, the thing is, we got the fucking rain, and then we got the fucking wind, right?
Yeah.
And fucking trees started falling over. Goddamn fences were falling over. Just the other day, I was driving by the local fucking golf course over in my hometown, and there was like 3-4 trees knocked over on the side. They had chopped them up already.
Yeah.
Like it's
In fact, last spring storm shut down this show.
True.
Electricity was unreliable,
It's true.
and you guys were flooded out. So I didn't really see you driving out here.
Yeah, no, fuck no.
Yeah, it was, and then my daughter was out on a visit, and we didn't do nothing. We didn't get out of the house.
You
so.
stay inside, dog.
Yeah,
Stay indoors.
Storm shut it down, man. You work tomorrow, Cain?
I do.
All right.
I work tomorrow, man.
All right.
Yep. Back at it, man. Back at it.
Yeah, back to the grind. Me too. And then I got a short week next week, the week after this.
Hashtag me too.
Hey, now. Watch out, dude. You give me trouble.
I know, man.
Hey, me too. You with the Me Too movement now?
Hashtag me too. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
This ain't weightlifting. You only get one chance at the snatch, bro. Don't blow it. Don't blow it with that shit.
Hey, bro, I already nailed that chance, dog.
You did.
I already did my fucking turn.
You won.
I'm sitting on the sidelines right now, waiting
You're-
for everyone else to finish.
You're a gold medalist in that regard. We're all blessed. All three of us blessed to have some good ladies in our life.
Hey, real quick, fellas. So they did announce today that, or I read today, I don't know if it was announced today, but I read it today that the Raiders signed a 2-year, or getting ready to sign 2 years with Oakland. What's up with Vegas? Is it an issue, or is that just for safekeeping?
Yeah.
So they don't have this we homeless issue again.
So what I understand, there's an option for 2020 with guaranteed 2019. Construction is what construction is, man. Anything can go wrong. They're just getting the bones up right now, but once they start really laying down like the electricity and everything else that's going to go into that establishment, anything can go wrong. You're going to have all these vendors in there, restaurants being built out. This is the easy part of the construction, as far as I know. I mean, I'm no construction guru. I'm no foreman over here, but I would say, getting the land level and all that stuff, as long as once you get in that plumbing, the electricity, and all the other logistics that go into it, expect delays.
And we want to get that plumbing right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
why we're here.
As much as everybody talk about the Coliseum, they definitely want to get that shit right.
Yeah. Literally want to get that shit right.
Let's hope we do away with the trough.
Oh
in
man,
in the men's bathroom.
Oh man,
that's weird.
I mean, those are good times right there.
You know what weirds me out about the trough is back in grade school you had the water fountains that were like 4 or 5 in a row,
right?
And I feel like I'm pissing in the water.
You do,
fountain.
right? You do,
yeah.
you do. It's true.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's true. Well, here's the fucked up part.
Hey, remember you used to go to the water faucets that was 4 or 5 in a row and you start at one end and go coffee, tea, milkshake, tea. You remember that? Or y'all probably too young to remember that. All right, I'm stupid. But we used to say that when I was in school, though.
The only good thing about the trough is 1 or 2 times I did catch a Broncos fan drinking out of it. So they're a bit confused. Confused.
I meant the 4 or 5 watering troughs that you drink water from. Not
they used to them horses out there. Oh, I'm supposed to drink out this. Yeah.
Oh man, I take my horse to the fucking troughs all the time, man. Let me get some of this free beer.
You can lead a Bronco fan to the trough, but you can't make him drink.
Oh man,
he'll do that all by himself.
Man.
He'll get it done. He'll get it done.
Shit, Cain, man, it's good having you on again this week. We got free agency coming up just next week.
Oh man, here we go.
So get ready for that. Maybe there's gonna be a splash.
Y'all think we're gonna sign? We'll get to that next week, I guess.
Yeah,
because that's another topic for a whole other show. But free agency is gonna be, everybody wants this player, that player, this player. I'm sure we're gonna get to that. So I got a lot to talk about that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and we've put our guys out there, this and that. We've pontificated on Le'Veon Bell and all that. Next week we get to see what really happens. So. Yeah, tune in next Sunday, and we'll share our thoughts on that, and we'll have Cain back on the air. Cain, as always, man, it's great to see you. Great to hear from you, I should say.
Absolutely.
It's great to be on with you guys weekly, brothers.
Yes, sir.
And I guess I'll catch up with y'all next week. Y'all niggas have a good week.
Sounds good, homie.
What's up, brother?
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
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 As MCA would say, yeah. Yeah, good call by Cain there, man. That was good.
Hell yeah, man.
Interesting take on the Quentin Williams thing, but he explained his way through it. I get where he's coming from.
Hey, man. Hey, like we talked about, we were talking about earlier, bro. Like we're not all gonna agree with each other's fucking ideas or thoughts on this team. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion.
Yeah,
it's all right, man. Opinions are welcome. Let's not get mad at each other about them. All right, because at the end of the day, none of us has a fucking choice, dog. None of us makes a decision, dog.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade.
Angry at each other and shit, and we ain't even fucking picking.
Yeah.
We ain't making no goddamn picks over here. We're just telling you what we think should happen.
I told Cain off the air last week that what I think he's really good at on Twitter is making hot takes that aren't completely stupid.
Right.
A lot of hot takes are just dumb.
Yeah.
But he'll put out a hot take out there that actually make me step back and think about it.
Right, you say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You might be on to something. You might be on to something, right? Yeah.
But and I mentioned Grizz earlier. He has a lot of unpopular opinions, but he's the kind of guy. Again, when he has opinion, him and even Kevin, they have an opinion. I don't really react to it. I look at it. They've thought about. These are thought out opinions, not just hot takes.
Right.
And so I just take it for what they were. Sometimes you can learn from it. It's good to kind of check in with someone else's perspective. That's called not being hard headed. So kind of let your guard down a little bit and just let it flow through you, Raider Nation. Learn something. Learn something. It's time to do these phone calls, man.
Let's do it, dog.
You about ready to do that?
Let's do it.
I feel like we should have like a phone call sound effect for this segment, but we don't have that yet. I don't know. Maybe
we have to come up with something, though.
Maybe
come up with something.
There you go. All right, we got a few calls. I did put the Twitter poll out to the callers. We'll see if anybody comments on that, but if not, it's cool. But this is coming from the 360. This is Pete.
This was up.
Kenny, Che, Cain. What's up, Pillagers? This is Pete. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Well, there's some combine, huh? So for the past couple weeks, I've been calling in and saying that we should take 2 wide receivers. I did not mean with the 4th pick, DK Metcalf. Calm the fuck down, man. Wow. Anyways, so with what I've gathered so far, fellas, I'm thinking, man, I don't know that Josh Allen, Nick Bosa, or Quinnen Williams is going to be available at 4. But after I saw Devin White run that 4-4, man, I'm for it all day. And I've always wanted Devin Bush, the linebacker out of Michigan, but he had such a good day. He's not going to be there at 24 for us either. So, and neither is Montez Sweat. So, I don't really know what to think anymore right now, and we're going to have to see how pro days go. And with that, I just hope that we have a good Sunday coming up, and I'm looking forward to the draft. Have a good one, fellas.
Yeah, have a good one, Pete. Good call. I mean, I'm not going to comment too much on it. I think that puts a nice bow on everything we just talked about. That was solid.
Yeah.
Get yourself, speaking of Devin Bush and Devin White, get yourself a white bush. A lady with some experience, if you know what I mean.
What up, Kenny? What up, Che?
Oh,
Bobby!
Wasabi?
What's up, Bobby?
Hey, so you know how this whole combine thing is going down, right? Everyone's over here all obsessed and all way over DK.
First of all, Google Voice, it's Combine. It's not Columbine.
Oh, shit.
I'm reading along in the transcript here, and it's got me.
Shit. What did it bleep out right there? It bleeped out a few things, too.
You know what it bleeped out.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I don't know. I'm just saying Google Voice got me in my emotions right now.
Obsessed and all way over DK. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying the cat ain't fucking badass. That motherfucker cool as hell, dude. He clean, he's fast, and I've been keeping an eye on this guy for a while. All them old Miss boys. But I was going to say, what about A.J. Brown?
Okay.
Have you guys heard about him? Have you guys heard anything about him? I think he's going to be a sleeper, man. Honestly, everyone's focusing on DK. A.J. Brown ain't nothing to sneeze at. Honestly, this kid is pretty badass. He's 6'1", 225, and he actually ran his 40 at 4.49. He said it ain't as fast as DK, but that kid is fast, and they've been playing together. They've been working out together. So, he actually, if anything, I've seen him do some stuff kind of like Cook. So he also got that power, man. That kid's a beast. I definitely think that we should keep an eye on him, and hopefully we can get him. The other thing
I think I was just looking it up right here to make sure I was right. I think the thing people have talked about with AJ is his injury history. No major injuries, but frequently nicked up. I've heard some people knock him on that, and
right.
a little bit on his hands. But
yeah,
let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I heard the hands.
Yeah, the hands. Yeah.
I'm very excited and waiting on that Crow's Nest podcast that you guys are going to launch. I'm pretty sure you guys got all kinds of segments and topics and this and that. but I've been listening to this old school podcast, this Drink Tank podcast.
Oh shit!
And I was like, you know what? I thought of a perfect topic, the perfect first topic for the Crow's Nest podcast.
Hold on. So just for you guys listening along, I know I've explained this in the past, but the Drink Tank podcast is where I cut my teeth podcasting. Did I go by Kenny Stapler on there? No. You're going to have to listen and check it out and find out what I went by on there. I'm not responsible any longer for anything I may have said on that podcast. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I was a different person at that time. We drank a fifth of liquor every show. We finished it, and there was punishment shots that were dealt.
Body shots?
Punishment shots.
Fucking, you taking some hooks?
No, we had a cabinet of filthy, filthy liquor that nobody would want to take a shot of. A variety of things. If you've never tried the special holiday winter release of Southern Comfort, I recommend you don't. Warm cream liqueurs in the cabinet.
Shoo.
Some off-brand Bailey shit that's set up there for months. We had, we had a bottle of Everclear up there.
Ooh.
We had a bottle of 151.
Of course, the 151 was up there, dog.
The Campari leaves a nasty, nasty taste in the mouth. And that red stain is atrocious. And they were dealt out for saying certain words, and eventually I pushed the line a little too much to where it was.
I told the line.
I didn't break a written rule, but it was something that was deserved of a punishment shot, and then the floodgates were open after that, and punishment shots were just dealt out. Undecently, I would say, by the hosts of that show for any time I got out of pocket. And I kind of felt like, it was a little bit subjective. And whether it was worth it or not, I don't know. Whether I was deserved of those or not, you'll have to ask them, because apparently I had no say-so in the matter. And pouring gas on a fire never makes things better. If you're interested in finding out more of what I'm talking about, check out the Drink Take podcast. It's not safe for anything. It's not safe. But I'll let you continue, Bobby. I appreciate
it. Ain't safe no more.
I appreciate you doing some research on my previous career marks. High marks, low marks.
All marks.
Hallmarks.
Hallmarks.
The Vajankle. I'm not sure if you remember that, Kenny, but that was a hilarious topic right there for the Crow's Nest podcast. The Vajankle. I'm not sure if you remember that, Kenny, but that was a hilarious topic right there. Shout out to the Drink Tank podcast. And one more thing, I want to tell you guys that you guys actually got my shower cap award.
Oh, shit.
It was a shared award between PJ4F and Just Win Johnny. You guys got that award for the New England prostitutes, and it wasn't just the graphic that made it. It was that hashtag tug rule.
That's right.
That was hilarious. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna keep smoking. Y'all keep doing what you do. Bobby Wasabi out.
Hey, don't stop smoking, Bobby. We don't have to put a mirror underneath you to make sure you're still alive. Yeah. So all credit goes to Just Win Johnny and One Nation fanware for the prostitutes logo.
That was dope. Even my boy's a Chargers fan. He's like, bro, where the fuck did you find that?
Just Win Johnny, man. He's dope. He's dope. One of the best vector art dudes in the game. Also a graph writer extraordinary. Don't say his real name on air. Yeah, hashtag tug rule. It was a big hit over the past week. You can go through our social media and find it. In fact, it's a good reason to go subscribe to us on IG. What's our IG, Che?
Oh man, fuck. Hell, let me bring it up real quick. Let me just not fuck this up right now.
It's at _pillaging
there you go.
_
But
podcast.
you can search the Pillaging podcast, and it'll come up. Okay,
yeah.
But the actual username, yes, underscore and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So the Pillaging podcast. Search.
Pillaging.
Go find the prostitutes logo. By the way, very honored to receive the Shower Cap Award. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, you really need to tune in to the Wolfpack Nation podcast. These guys are brand new. I think they're on the eve of recording or tonight recorded their 4th episode. I believe they're brand new, but already like my favorite Raiders podcast.
Yo, and it's not just Raiders. The great thing about it is the fucking wrestling, bro.
Yeah.
That's. I told you these motherfuckers. They shine.
Yeah,
they shine with the wrestling. They had that. I believe it was a ladders. It was a chairs, ladders, and socks match. Shout out Bobby for that one. Oh man, that shit was amazing. That shit was amazing.
And the Wolfpack Nation podcast is Raider VC, Bobby Wasabi, and Monster Mash Ken. If you follow us on Twitter, you probably follow them too. They're in the mix every day. The personalities are unstoppable. If you like this show, I guarantee you're going to like that show. Again, it's uncensored. They're off the cuff. They like to get off topic. They joke around.
Yeah.
I can't recommend highly enough the Wolfpack Nation podcast. Instantly became my favorite Raiders podcast because they don't take themselves too serious, man.
No, man, they like us.
Yeah,
they like us.
I read for information. I listen to podcasts to be entertained.
Yeah,
and you can get a little bit of both on that show, and I feel like you can get that here with us too. So, like we've said in the past, it's not competition; it's conversation. There's plenty of hours in the workday to listen to podcasts. We put out one episode a week, so I ain't mad if you're listening to other shows like Murph's Man Cave. Definitely big ups to Murph, Raider Mikey. Your boy Q with Locked On Raiders. Of course, we have our own shows, Ladies of Darkness. You got the Put On Waivers podcast.
That's right.
We're trying to get Sean up to speed here soon. But yeah, definitely Wolfpack Nation. Check them out. Yeah.
Yep.
And they're working on getting up on every platform. But if you got an iPhone, definitely they're on Apple's podcast. And I found them on my Stitcher app, on my Android Stitcher app.
Yep.
So
they're up on a lot of places though.
They're
up on a lot. You'll find them on iTunes.
I don't know if they're on Spotify yet. I think they're working on it, but definitely check them out. Big ups to them, and Monster Mash Camp producing that show, doing a good job of it. All three of those guys are in separate locations, which is very difficult doing a show remotely. It took a long time for Cain and I to get our rhythm with him calling in remotely. It's hard when you can't see the person sitting next to you. Man. And it's hard when you can't see the person sitting next to you and he's so damn handsome, like Che over here. I'm just like, man.
Well, I mean, thanks. My lady seems to think so as well.
I think, did she put that outfit for you together?
Oh yeah,
that's good.
She ironed it too.
That's good.
She laid it out for me on the bed, bro, right before I came over.
Your lady can iron Carter shorts. That's talent. Let's keep moving. We got looks like we got Pete calling back in here.
What up, Pete?
Kenny, Che, what's up, Pillagers? This is Pete once again. Already called in tonight, and I just said I'd drop by again.
Hey.
So, amongst mock draftery, amongst everything else that's going on, I just want to let people know when we get mocked to draft Rashawn Gary, or whenever we get mocked to draft a Michigan guy, one thing that's never really talked about at all is John Gruden and Jim Harbaugh are homeboys. And for the next 9 years, we are going to get mocked to take the best Michigan player available. Dead serious. Look it up. Just figure it out. Outside of that, so, y'all already touched on the show about how, Bleacher Report, Master, touched my fucking testicles, said something about, how, Derek Carr's being shopped. Here's what I have to say about Bleacher Report and the Oakland Raiders. Ever since we made the announcement that we were leaving Oakland to go to Las Vegas, Bleacher Report, who is a San Francisco-based, hires a lot of Oakland fans to write for them, has been flaming us at every opportunity. Look up the what was it, mid-season draft report? Not draft report, excuse me, the mid-season report after we lost to the Niners. They took every, chance they could to flame us. They just did. And, you know what? Just keep that in mind, guys. We can't get down on ourselves, at all, because we have a lot of forces working against us, but at the end of the day, we hope it turns out good. At the end of the day as well, I'm still holding strong. Either 2 wide receivers or all defense first 4 picks. Either way, y'all have a good one. Peace, love, heavy metal. Night, Kenny. Night, Che.
That's what's up, man. Good night, brother. Hey, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Because he just talked about how Bleacher Report's just putting out no motherfucking haters.
Okay.
And I just got to say this.
Yeah.
That's not true. Because your boy Kenny put out a piece not that long ago that just so happened to be on Bleacher Report.
That's true.
And y'all motherfuckers already know your boy Kenny be riding.
All right.
He ride hard for the silver and black. So I'm not going to put that on Bleacher Report. I think they take what's out there. Mm-hmm. And they're going to take whatever is going to get some notice and get some people talking.
And to piggyback on that, Che, with all due respect, Pete, we were 4-12 last year. Okay? We did a show called Pillaging Therapy.
This is true. This is true.
For all the crybabies.
Shit. This is true.
After the battle of the bidet, as I like to call it, we lost several thousand listeners on that episode.
We did, man. Where the fuck y'all go? I want to know. I want to know.
Let's keep it real. A lot of them came back, but they were down in the dumps. This ain't all on the writers. I know they're based out of SF, but not all the writers are. So, Pete, I understand where you're coming from. I understand the frustration. A lot of negativity in the media, but guess what? You're talking about it. And that's what they're here to do. I even said last week,
true, man.
I said in the group chat, I'm one of the few Raider fans that likes Tim Kawakami. Why? Because he gets people talking, man.
Hey.
That's good journalism. Whether or not you think it's responsible journalism is another question.
This is true.
But he gets you talking, and it's not the same old drivel. And another reason why I like Tim Kawakami is he single-handedly crumbled the 49ers empire when he started linking the Harbaugh stories and the Jed York stories. I watched Kawakami dismantle that organization piece by piece in his columns, and he took a punch from Herrera, and he never ate the KFC. Tim Kawakami's been around for a while, bro, and he stands in a lot of places people won't stand, so I give him credit for that. Not all journalism is there to make you happy or there to make you perk up and smile. A lot of it's there to be very critical, and that's what these guys get to do. I publish fan-submitted articles, so if you feel like you want to write something, I know we have a lot of educated listeners, send it my way.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on an article I've been sitting on for months. I feel like an asshole. Justin Robbins submitted it and Kill Harry, and honestly, I haven't had time to edit anything. I've been editing these shows. But yeah.
It's hard work over here, dog. We're trying to get 2 shows going. You know, life.
Pimping
all
ain't
that
easy.
shit.
Pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy. Dog.
But I sense your frustration, Pete, and you're not all wrong. You're not all wrong. I don't mean to pile on you like that. This wasn't about you, but, Che pointed it out, man. It's just, it's what they're grabbing. And again,
I'm just stating facts.
We were 4-12. What do you want these guys to say, man? Damn. All right, here we go. Last call from the 831.
What up, Trini? Yeah, damn, dude, I'm already fucking high.
Is this a back-to-back doubleheader right here?
Doubleheader, bro. It's pretty amazing.
What up, Kenny? What up, Chair? Answer the question. Chair, I completely forgot about that.
Wait, did he call me Jenny? Am I Jenny Stapler over here?
Jenny Stapler. Wrong show,
Trini?
motherfucker.
Yeah, damn, dude, I'm already fucking high.
One more time.
What up, Trini? Yeah,
Jenny.
damn, dude, I'm already
Jenny.
fucking high. I said Chenny.
That's our celebrity couple name, Che, apparently. Jenny. Jenny. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
I think you call me Jenny in a Puerto Rican accent.
Oh, man. Bobby Wasabi ain't even Puerto Rican, man. That's what makes it funny.
What up, Kenny? What up, Chair? Answer the question. Chair, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, dude, definitely number 75. I mean, who the hell else, dude, but Howie Long is going to be able to handle business and scare people. Yeah, I completely forgot to answer that earlier, so I wanted to call up right now and give you my answer. So, Howie Long, there's a reason why I wore that number. Defense, baby. Defense wins championships. That's all I got to say. Bobby out.
There you go.
Bobby out.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bobby. Appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Remember back in the day when I had to remind people to keep it short and sweet and get to the point and land the plane?
Yeah.
Calls have been strong ever since. And I just wanted to point that out. You guys are MVPs.
Wrap it up, B.
Wrap that shit up. Did we miss anything, Che?
Nah, dog.
Did we catch an L this week?
Hell no. We never catching no fucking L's, bro. We been undefeated since been undefeated, dog.
There you go.
Shit.
Let's do the shout-outs then.
Shout out.
First off, shout out to Maliik Obee coming on here.
You already know.
Like a boss, giving us an hour-long interview.
Upset because he tied the record, bro. He tied the all-time record. Come on, dog.
Didn't want the T-shirt. I respect that.
Hey, I respect that too, man. And that saves us the cost on the T-shirt.
Shout out to this week's follows. If you want to get a shout out on air, make sure you follow us on IG or Twitter. Shout out to Brian Norton. Shout out to J.R. Amato, co-host of the Put On Waivers podcast with Dwayne Douglas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evan Lindner. Shout out to Jeff Carpenter, Claudia Arnold Munoz. Shout out to Junior Galindo, Raul Salinas, Raider Girl 66, Stephen Conyers, Alan Dixon, Pat Kaiser, Raider Nation for Life Online, RN4L Online. Shout out to Raider Eric, Josh Smith, Bully Barracks, Rick Grimes following us right now.
Oh, shit.
Get in the house, Carl.
Where's Carl?
Dudes After Dollar Signs podcast. I got to check them out. Their bio makes it sound interesting, and they were nice enough to give us a nice plug today too. So I'll give them a listen. I make sure you do the same. Shout out to Mike Schneid, Ty Lindsay out in Arizona. I was just in AZ. How come we didn't hook up? Could have used a beer. My brother was talking big on day one, then he stopped drinking. So,
shit.
Shout out to Cody Goggins. Shout out to Martin Hawkins. Shout out to 4 Point Play Podcast. Shout out to Captain Cap. So based NorCal Laker Gang. Say what's up, Che.
What up, Laker Gang?
Shout out to Spinksy NFL. Henry S. Clifton. Shout out to Cam Brady with a Q. Eddie Garcia, Warrior Shogun, Donnie Torres, Sports Regime. You tried to recruit us. We said no, but good luck. Shout out to Carlos Escobar. Shout out to Basketball Dimes, Jordan Mendez, Sean Burns, the People's Mexican.
Oh, the People's Champ, the People's Mexican, dog.
I never met a Mexican that wasn't good People's.
That's true.
But he's just letting you know. He's the People's Mexican.
He's the People's Mexican.
Shout out to Red Zone Hive, Vegas Raider Nation Game. Vegas Raider Nation Game Day, the Big Play Podcast, and Don't Fake the Funk. Also, big special shout out to Nez and Ant hosting the No Ledge Podcast. That's KNO LEDG Podcast. Good friends of ours, very talented.
Yep.
A really good open topic, open forum podcast. I'll let Che talk about them in a minute here.
Yeah.
Special shout out once again to the WAP. Your donation was received today. Sean Hall, who liked my Musburger take last week. We appreciate you, bud. And Harry, I hope you're a great follower of us, so I hope I don't mess this up. Harry Farclaw, crushing it in the UK. Got your very generous donation. And last but not least, Daryl Padilla. Altogether, your guys helped us pay for our hosting fees for next month.
Appreciate
and about half of the month after that. So we appreciate that.
Amazing.
This month's donations, man, huge. Also, this is making it possible for us to launch the new show in just 2 weeks. So stay tuned for the Crow's Nest podcast. That's going to be big.
Real big.
Your turn, Che.
Really big news.
Really big news.
Y'all, just real quick, I'm going to go ahead and follow up where you left off with the No Ledge podcast. Nez, that's my cousin. That's my family out there.
Real spitter.
Yeah. He likes to put out that music. Those of you that follow us on Twitter, we've been putting out some of his music, retweeting his videos and stuff, and we've been telling you this is a Raider fan, dog. If y'all love Raider fans and y'all love hip hop, underground hip hop, follow Nez. Well, now my boy, secretly, bro, I didn't even know he was doing this.
He didn't.
And all of a sudden, I see this fucking podcast popped. I'm like, yo, what's up, motherfucker? Why didn't you say why say word, dog? Say word, man. He's like, yo, I be living in the Batcave, dog. I be doing my own thing. I'm like, hey, that's what's up, dog. But just let me know, man, so we can get you out there.
See, I feel bad because I've been knowing about this.
See, but I mean, that makes sense. You're the producer. You the fucking you got the magic hands over here. You know what the fuck to do. I don't know nothing about none of this fucking equipment. Ask me fucking a question about this equipment. I'll just tell you it's a mic. There's a stand. There's a camera. I push motherfucking buttons.
I'll ask you a question.
What's the question? Oh, here we go. Can you like to drop fucking random questions on me? Here we go. Let's see.
What's the purpose of a compressor in an audio signal chain?
The purpose of it?
Yes.
To fucking make everything sound on the same level?
That is correct. That's correct.
I've been paying attention over here. God damn it. You gonna stump me with that? That's a good question.
I was hoping you were going to say to compress things.
No, man. Come on. You know me better than that.
That's good. That's good. You know more.
Hey.
Give yourself some credit, dog.
Hey, man. Well, I've been studying over here. Just because I'm quiet, I'm just looking, doesn't mean I'm not paying attention to what you're doing. All right? I mean, I might not be able to man the controls just yet. But you best believe, I'm paying attention.
Good.
But no, man, y'all go follow my cuz out there. Him and his boy Ant. They're putting out this podcast. They're Raider fans. Both of them Raider fans. And they're gonna hit you with some shit that you probably don't even talk about. Maybe you ain't even think about, and they might be a little bit too militant for you. I say give them a chance before you decide you're gonna write them off.
Yeah.
They're gonna be talking about stuff that we don't touch on.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna be talking about politics. They also gonna be talking about what it is to be a fucking Chicano, and I know all about that, but I'm glad that they're talking about it.
Yeah. Endorsed.
Because it's good.
Endorsed.
It's real good stuff, man. And yeah, man. Very, like you said, very conversational. It's what else can I say, man? Just go listen, give it a listen, give it a chance, and yeah, man, they're gonna be putting out a new episode pretty soon, man.
Yeah, I'm good because I was gonna start that show about being a Chicano, and you were like, nah, yo, pump the brakes, Cain.
Hey, maybe.
Hey, that salsa you make's powerful stuff, bro.
It's
giving me ideas.
It's turning some people Mexican, dog. Yes, I ain't even gonna lie, dog. Motherfuckers eat that salsa, they turn Mexican real quick, man. No, man. Nah, man, go follow those cats, man, and yeah, man, doing big things, and we might have to bring those motherfuckers out to a goddamn tailgate because like you said, we gonna be out in Oakland, dog.
We're gonna be there.
We're working on getting these season tickets, you best believe, and we're working on this fucking Crow's Nest Union attack out there in the A-lot. You best believe we're going to be out there. We're going to be running deep, and we're looking forward to everybody coming through that fucking tailgate. So look out for these guys, and look out for all the rest of the fam on the Crow's Nest Podcast Network.
Speaking of which, make sure you follow that at CNPodNet because I know it's a lot to keep up with. We added a new show. We're going to keep adding shows. We got shows lined up for the offseason that we haven't even added yet. The roster's about to get bigger. So follow CNPodNet on Twitter and, just get ready for those announcements and every show release and everything's going to come through that channel. So if you don't want to keep up and follow every single show, just follow CNPodNet and then you can check out all the content that we release.
Right. And I just want to drop the Twitter for the No Ledge Podcast. It's at K_NO Ledge Pod, right? LEDGEPOD. All right. So follow those cats over there. Give them follow. Give them some love. Let them know that we're listening, man. And let me go ahead and get to these fucking IG shout outs, dog. IG. All right. Let's give a shout out to Just for Kicks. Let's give a shout out to Thiago or Tiago. I don't know. He's Brazil. He's got to be Brazilian with that name. Hadlich. Okay. Shout out to Bay Area Productions. Shout out 835 Online Team. And shout out to my boy, my peeps, Noah De Leon 831. The 831 stands for my hometown. If you don't know, then look it up.
You better ask somebody.
And
since you put it out there for No Ledge, we'll put it out there for Wolfpack Nation.
Absolutely.
At Wolfpack Nation 1. That's Wolfpack No K, WOLFPAC Nation and the number 1. And I forgot they have a new addition to the show, Bliss Chick, man.
Go follow Bliss Chick, man. And shout out to you, Bliss Chick, if you're listening. Last season, you tried to hook us up with that interview. You know, we were stumped for time, right? Real short time. We were trying to rush and try to get it done.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all the effort that you put in for that, man. Like, don't think that we didn't appreciate that, and don't think that we were just like, overlooking it.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot. There's a lot of motherfuckers that come through the tailgate, and we're looking forward to meet a lot more of you that come through, and you guys provide a lot, man.
Yeah.
Provide a lot. Huge. Provide beverages, provide fucking,
meat.
Yeah.
Other things we can't say on air.
Yeah. Bobby Wasabi. You already know what's up with Bobby.
Bringing that produce, that fresh produce.
That lechuga.
Yeah. So it's a good time for everybody. There's plenty to go around.
Yeah.
And it just getting to see you guys and meet you guys. The first time we met Bobby, dude was stuttering, couldn't get the words out.
Hey.
Wanted you to autograph his titty. And now he's like a cousin to us. So, that's what it is,
He family, man. Family. And you know what? That's what Raider Nation's all about, dog. Mm-hmm. Raider Nation's all about that family. And if you guys come up to the tailgate this season, ain't gonna be nothing different, man.
No.
It ain't gonna be nothing different.
If you're coming from out of town and you don't really know where to interject yourself in that tailgate, just come hang out with us all day. Don't worry about it.
Come to the A-Lock.
Yeah, we have a production. We do a show, but we're just regular folks out there have a good time. So come through and just hang out with us. Bring something. Don't come empty-handed, but don't outdo yourself either. Bring what you can, but bring yourself. Bring yourself.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, I guess that's it for this week's show.
Yeah.
Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Download the official Pillaging app available for iOS and Android. Make sure you check out DC4L Custom Tees and OneNationFanwear.com. Please donate to the show. I just updated all the donate links. It's now working on Twitter. Be sure to listen to our sister podcast, Ladies of Darkness, and the Put It on Waivers pod. Follow the Crow's Nest Podcast Network at CN Podnet for all updates, all Raiders-related podcast news, and everything more. Keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug and pillage on Raider Nation. This has been a product of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Chick.
And we out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Just win, baby.
Shut down with your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see. They all lay their money down. When you're gone, mama, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last.
Shorty, later, Bobby, Vincent, TNT.
Peace out, y'all. Bobby. Love y'all, man.
When the sky is gray and the night sets in, it's your cue to do it all again. Until the next time I hear your name, or right beside you now, my thoughts to remain. When you're gone, mama, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone,
I gotta do that, man. I gotta make my way over there.
when you're gone, no one can call on you. When you're gone, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, you still ain't acting right. When you're gone, gone, gone. When you're gone, gone, gone.
Yup. They'd eat it up, dog.
Yeah.
Because they're about that life.